And we are recording. Yes, that is it. Take it away, John.
Hey, what's up? Roll with advantage and people outside of this community. Session 3 of Evrand. We're about to play it. Is everyone ready to play some D&D?
Yes, let's roll the intro. We are back. All right. Summarize away. Let's do it.
Yep, this week, last week was Joe with the summary. This week we have Rachel. Rachel, whenever you're ready, go ahead and summarize.
All right. Session 2 summary as told in the voice of Basil. I've never met anyone as unhinged as the people in my current group. I don't mind the chaos. In fact, I thrive with it. But never in a million years would I have thought I would end up trying to provide aid to Hambafort with a group of people who have no idea what they're doing. I'm not excluding myself, as I wing things most of the time, but still. During our first day together, we visited two lovely men, Daryl and Alfred, who were both attacked by wolves. However, both men recalled the animals acting outside of their usual nature. That makes Yrsa's belief of them being possibly controlled even more believable. Of course, one should always be aware of wild animals, but when they start having glowing red eyes and causing mass destruction, I would say that's something that should be looked into. And that's exactly what the mayor is wanting. When we end up at the mayor's interestingly styled mansion after meeting with the two farmers. The gaudy decor is definitely not something I would choose, but it's something he chose, and I can respect that. We were served delicious food before he asked us the question that had him nearly pissing in his seat. Having him asked us to stay in town to defend his people was something we all assumed he wanted. It was surprising, as my group were the only people who... It wasn't surprising, as my group were the only people who decided to fight the wild animals, except for the knight in shitty armor himself, Eldar, I don't know his last name. But it wasn't difficult to swear our opinion with the sound of 100 gold pieces each. All we have to do is stay in Hambafort for 3 days and wait for guards to come to town to take over our job. In the meantime, we'll be responsible for protecting the townspeople and doing as much as we can to figure out what's going on. After agreeing to the job, we meet up with Eldar. He mentioned seeing mysterious plants in the forest in between the Mallow Grove and the Shatter Spires. He's convinced they're involved with whatever is going on with the animals. It's not an impossible thought. There's so many different kinds of plants in this world, and they can make you do and think weird things. It's definitely something to check out, but I don't know if I trust going there with or without Eldar yet. He's incredibly suspicious, and I'm glad my party seems to feel the same way. It doesn't make us feel any better about him after seeing him vanish into thin air. I was all for keeping an eye on him, but that plan fell through when he literally disappeared, as if he couldn't be more of an asshole. After heading back to the Green Dragon, it was nice to sip on some ale and get to know these people. I've never really had friends growing up, or even in adulthood. I guess that's what happens when you spend many years running or living in the woods, and only coming out to bring people back from the dead or walk someone into the afterlife. I don't mind the quiet, though. It helps me think. This party isn't something I'm used to, but I'm hoping to make at least one friend out of them. Gak and Rian seem to be getting closer, no matter how much Rian tries to show he isn't getting along with the sweet Goliath. It was fun to watch them let loose and race each other, because I think Rian is secretly a huge softie. Gideon is being so helpful with trying to help me figure out how dangerous this black sludge from my garden is. I'm hoping he'll figure something out soon. Yrsa is very easy to get along with, and is so sweet. I have a feeling I'll be able to let loose around her. As for Vey, he's so mysterious to me. I like him, though. I feel like I can relate to him, as we both sort of taken on non-traditional paths regarding our cleric and paladin lifestyles. But like life and nearly everything, it isn't always happiness. I know I'm being warned, but I can't put together the pieces yet. My nightmares continue to plague me. Every time I close my eyes, I can't help but see the death and black sludge will cause. The smell of decaying flesh fills my nose, and I see nothing but darkness that was once a beautiful landscape filled with trees and deep green grass. The darkness is consuming. I know it's a dream, but I can feel as if it's wrapping around my body like a second skin and cutting off all my senses. But it's not just me. I see my body being consumed. I see people in every town I pass through being turned to dust to match that of a fire that recently burned out. A guttural laugh fills my ears, and it's one that I don't recognize, but as it grows closer, so do the glowing eyes that stare down at my form. One red, one purple. I'm no stranger to death and all things darkness, but this kind of evil I spend my life trying to stay away from. Whatever this is, it shows no indication of stopping. And I can't wake up. I can't wait to wake up before it too consumes me. And that is a summary of session 2.
Nice.
I thoroughly enjoyed.
That was great.
So, going from there, as you all did find sleep on this night, you wake up the next morning, fully rested. Oh,
I have a
Joe?
thing, I'm sorry to start off the session with me, but I have a thing I want to do.
What? I sorry to
understood some of that. Oh, yeah.
sorry just to
Okay.
hijack the beginning, but I did have
No,
something I
no.
wanted to do before the dawn. Since
Okay, let me rewind. As
Okay.
you guys are getting into your various chambers and going to sleep, one at a time, you talk to each other here and there. Rian, as you walk into your room,
Yeah.
close the door behind you. What do I do?
So I would like to sleep first because he is a little tired, so he's gonna go to bed, and then before the that's why I said before the dawn. Like he wants to wake up
Oh,
before the
sorry.
sunrise. Sorry.
So before the dawn, but after sleep,
After
Rian
the-
wants to just squeeze right in there.
It's just like it's
Before okay, yeah.
yeah, before breakfast, yeah. So
Yeah.
after he wakes up, right? I and Kayla, if it's okay with you, could we both agree that even though Yursa has her like meditation thing, that she's still kind of like just like asleep, like a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, after I'm sure it took her a long time to fall asleep, so when she
Mhm.
finally did, yeah, she's gonna catch up on that.
Okay. Yeah. So right, maybe 45 minutes or so before the sun does rise, Rian is going to get up. He's going to be very quiet, very Dexy on his feet. He's going to sneak out of the room, and he's going to head downstairs. And he'd whoever the barkeep is, whether it's Alan or sort of the person on the graveyard shift, he'd like to get one hot tea.
Okay. It is Alan.
It is Alan.
As it's always Alan.
Alan, you need to get some rest sometime. I don't think it's good to stay up this often, this late.
I got some rest.
All right. Just one tea, please.
I am tired though. Here's your tea.
Thanks. So he'll take the tea.
By the way,
Yeah.
As you do wake up, you can hear outside the light drizzle of rain.
Okay. And I'm assuming the rest of the bar is pretty empty.
Oh yeah.
Complete. Okay, yeah. So he's going to take out a small piece of parchment, write a little something on it, and he's going to take the tea and the note back up to the room, and next to the nightstand where Yursa's sleeping, wherever that may be in the room, he's going to set the hot tea down and the little note, and the note's just going to say, "A promise is a promise," and then he's going to walk out of the room.
Okay.
And he is going to take some of his things with him, and he's going to take what looks to be this like mat that he kind of tucks underneath his arm, and he's going to head outside into the rain.
Okay.
And
It's not heavy rain.
just like a little.
It's drizzle.
Okay, yeah.
Right now.
So he's gonna head out, and this is just kind of Rien's everyday morning ritual that he's going to start doing, especially after yesterday. And this is the only time that I kind of want to address it, and the rest of the time it's just assume whenever he wakes up, this is what Rien does. He's going to head out closer, so he's farther away from the buildings, and head. So he's facing, what would it be? Southeast towards the Shatter Spires, even though they're an ocean away. He's going to unfurl the mat, set it down, and he's going to get down on his knees on the mat, and he's going to speak, and he's going to say, "In reverence to the great mountain home, I bow my head." And he's going to bow his head, touching his forehead to the mat. "Through your hallowed halls I long to walk. Sing now, great mountain. Sing to me. Show me home, where I long to be." And he's going to stay there for a few moments. He's going to stand up. He's going to take the mat, roll it up, tuck it underneath his arm, and just take a few deep breaths. And nod, and head back towards the Green Dragon Inn. And as he makes his way up the stairs and back into his room, in that time, do you think Yrsa may have woken up?
Yeah, well, there's a couple things. As you do finish your prayer and kind of look out, before you turn around, you can see one single, when clouds break, when it's rained, and you can see like this beam of light. There's a single beam of light that kind of points in the direction you were looking. And then clouds cover it once more.
And there's a mixture of definitely a very bittersweet look on Rien's face as he nods and shakes his head and smiles.
Also, as you turn around and you head back to the tavern, there is something you notice outside the tavern with your passive perception. There are might have been before, there are 3 carts. 2 look like wagons that are covered. Each is a different color and has a different insignia on it. And one is just a cart that has like a tarp over it. Seems like there are newcomers to the town.
Okay. For the ones that aren't covered, can I see what are in the carts or wagons?
They're all covered, especially because it's raining. And they are the wagons that are covered. Like the kind of like
Yeah.
Exactly they're called. They have like a cloth that kind of hides what's inside.
Okay.
It's hard to see, but you can you can see insignias on the outside.
Yeah. What are the insignias? Does Rien recognize any of the insignias?
Well, I'll show you what the insignias look like. I'll post them in the Discord. But you'd have to make a history check for me. One of the wagons is like this blue covering, and on the side of it is like this golden dragon kind of spiraling around like this almost kind of Celtic symbol. Kind of looks like that didn't work. Kind of looks like this.
Oh.
And another one looks like a yellow, and it has accents of yellow with a like blue and black checkered pattern behind what's like an anchor in the center on like a shield, and then like a knight's helmet up top, and it kind of looks like this.
Oh wow. Okay.
And the other one is like another shield that has a separation of 2 colors, gray up top and yellow at bottom, kind of like this like black star pattern behind it, with 2 snakes wrapping around each other, one white and one black, and it looks like to go. Hold, please.
Hold.
Oh, apparently I didn't.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's really pretty.
Did you roll a history?
Yeah, that's gonna be a 9 plus 3, 12. Not very good.
Actually, one of the crests you would notice because it is not specific to just this part of Evrand.
Mhm.
The Golden Dragon one, the name Essex comes to mind.
You said Essex.
Essiks. Essex.
I don't know. Knight's looking kind of funny at that. I feel like Knight may have some information I don't. Okay, Essex. Got it. Okay, and the other two don't know.
Specifically, you know that this Essex, whatever it's, you remember it's kind of like almost like a trading company. But they mostly trade with. They have like multiple taverns and shops throughout the continents.
So like chains, like they.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But as you see this and kind of briefly glance, you head back inside and go and find Yrsa.
Okay. So then, yeah, Kayla, would Yrsa be awake by then, or do you think she might still be asleep?
Oh yeah, no, she would absolutely be awake, and she's probably just sitting on the windowsill, sipping on the tea, just looking out the window.
Okay.
I would assume she could probably also see the carts have arrived from her room.
If you were to, well, I mean, your
I don't know
rooms
what-
are kind of
what
like
side
the
of the
rooms are kind
building.
of on the back half of the tavern, so most
Okay.
everything's looking behind.
Okay.
So you'd have, yeah, you wouldn't notice the carts yet.
Okay. Then yeah, she's just kind of like looking out absentmindedly, sipping on her tea. I mean, she's sitting so close to the edge, it's almost as if she just, one wrong foot and she's out the window. But it's the most comfortable she can be indoors.
Yeah. He's gonna kind of come back into the room and like to imagine that you only heard him because you know his tells now whenever he's like moving quietly. And as he comes in, kind of opening the door and then shuts it behind him, he looks at Yrsa for maybe a moment or two and says, "Something's bothering you. I feel like we
Well,
haven't had a moment to talk yet."
well, I know I can't hide anything from you, it seems. Well, this whole situation is very... I mean, all of us are concerned, but... if I'm being honest with you, there's a part of my heart that is breaking for these animals, these creatures. I know that it is not my responsibility to take care of the entirety of that forest. I know that. My job was to take care of the Mallow Grove and my home in Lunaria. But I just feel I have been away for so long. And the time I took to rebuild myself, I feel like perhaps I should have left sooner.
You can't blame yourself for that, and you know that. That was out of your control.
I do, I know this. I just can't wrap my head around why anyone would take advantage of these creatures this way.
I've lived.
I mean, it's bad enough that we've encroached on their land and taken their homes.
I've lived in these lands for quite some time, between here and Siri, and so many people are willing to do so many grotesque, disgusting things, if it means they can strengthen their grasp of power or get something from someone. But, Yrsa, I can promise you we'll get to the bottom of this. And whatever animals are sick or infected, if we can't help them, we'll at least give them rest.
We will. I do not doubt that at all. Not with this group of people. Everyone seems very committed.
Committed. It's a good word for it.
Committed and maybe a little unhinged,
That is exactly the word I was thinking.
but I'm glad for the company.
I did want to ask, before we're thrown back into the wolves, how do you feel about everyone? So far, I don't think that I've gotten any adverse feelings from any of them. There's something about
No.
Vey in that armor, but other than that,
I think Vey is very much like you when I first met you. You kept things very close to the chest.
Mm.
You enjoyed your privacy. But I'm sure with time they will open up, and sure we'll all be surprised to learn what they have to say. I had a very lovely conversation with Gideon last night. There's a
Good.
lot to him as well.
I
He's very kind and also more committed than unhinged, I would say.
yes, I discovered a similar thing in our conversation when we were heading to the farmers. I told him I wouldn't press him on anything, as well, you know, those who have a for some people it's hard to relive the past. And I respect that. Well, so then you're feeling good about everyone?
I am. And Basil, I wish that I had the confidence that she has.
You want to
Where
talk
she
about
stands up
unhinged?
for herself. I don't think unhinged is the right word, but and Gak. I don't think I've ever met such a kind soul. I worry that there are people who will take advantage of that. And I'm glad that we are here to steer him away from those kinds of people. He means well, and I look at him and I see someone who just wants to do something great. And he just doesn't know how yet.
I agree.
So yes, I like them all, as should you.
I do. I think that how do I say this? I think that they will all make fine traveling companions eventually. And right now I do enjoy their company, if I'm being honest.
I saw you bonding over a cow with Gak. So I would say that's a good start.
It is. It is. From the way that he was staring at it, I wasn't exactly sure what he was going to do, but then when he brought out the feed, I felt a little better. Well, good. I know that being out away from your home can make you uncomfortable, so I'm glad to hear that you're at least finding some bits of comfort out in this realm of the world.
I'll get used to it again eventually. Being inside will take some time. But as long as there's a window to look out, I'll be alright. Thank you.
At this
and
moment-
thank you for the tea.
You're welcome.
Yrsa and Rian, you hear a knock on your door.
Is it like aggressive, or is it just like a?
No, just
Okay. Okay. Rian will look to Yrsa and nod. And then he'll go to the door and kind of crack it open a little bit.
on the other side. You see Gideon.
Oh, good morning.
Morning. I didn't wake you, did I?
No, I've been up for a while. It's good to see you.
Likewise. May I come in?
Of course. Well, kind of. He'll look back towards Yrsa and say, "It's Gideon. He wants to come in."
Yeah, she'll smile and nod.
Okay.
She's just gonna sit at the windowsill still.
He'll kind of open the door, and as soon as Gideon walks in, shut it behind him.
How did you two sleep last night?
As good as I can.
Considering what we discovered yesterday, about the same as Yrsa. As good as I could have.
Well, today's going to be a bit of a day, so wanted to get a start on things. And he'll kind of motion to Yrsa, have something for you first off, and he kind of reaches into his pockets and reaches into a different pocket. Oh, there they are. And he'll pull out these two, like, very smooth, like, black stones, kind of like the ones you find, like, at the edge of, like, rivers and stuff. And he'll pull out two of them, as he has, like, four in his pocket. These are for you. And he'll hold them out to her.
Gideon, this is very kind. Thank you very much.
Give him a squeeze.
She
And
will.
he'll,
So.
So when you squeeze them, you feel a little bit of magic from the stones, and automatically you hear what seems to be just like wind through trees emanating from one of them, and the other, fairly light, so it doesn't like fill up the whole room, but there's a scent of pine that just comes from it, and it just kind of is on this repeating effect. Seems like a very simple magical enchantment. You mentioned you liked sleeping outdoors, so I thought this might help.
You can see, like, this big smile just kind of emerge on her face. Thank you so much. I think I'll be able to sleep much better with this around. Thank you. And without even, like, waiting, she will, like, move in to give you a hug.
Oh. It kind of does like the awkward hug at first and then returns it. Because he was not expecting that.
At this point, there's another knock on the door.
Oh, quite the place. And Rian has not moved from the door, and he's going to do the same thing where he cracks it open a little bit. Hello.
You see Gak on the other side.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Oh, hi.
good morning, Gak.
Good morning. This isn't Vay's room, is it?
Rian's going to look back towards the other two. Is Vay in here? We've had so many visitors, I wasn't sure.
You're just gonna give him a
No.
look.
No, sorry, it doesn't look like Vay's in here. I think if you head down one more door to the left,
Good morning, Gak.
All right. Hey, good morning.
I'm sure if you just wait here for a little bit, he'll show up eventually. Basil, too, by the...
Yeah, seems
The
like you
events of the
got
morning.
a whole get together going on in there.
Yes, that we do.
Would you
Yeah,
like to come in, Gak?
Yeah, I'll join you guys in a second. I'm gonna go find Vay real quick. But I'll see you guys real soon. And then Gak just starts walking and goes to the next door.
Rian's going to slowly close the door. All right.
Well, Rian, I did have one thing for you as well.
Oh. Of course.
You, there's a chance that things might get a bit hostile today. If you're welcome to it, I could provide a magical enhancement to your blade, if you would allow it.
And you can see him kind of... He's a little apprehensive. I would. If you don't mind, I'd like to work on it with you, whatever it may be. This blade means a lot to me. It's one of a kind. And I trust your craftsmanship, but I myself am not too shabby with a set of tools either. Just makes me nervous to give it to someone else, especially after only knowing them for a day. But I do trust you. I just like to be present while you tinker with it.
You can do it yourself. Just follow my instructions. Magic can be a bit temperamental.
That it can. The first time I tried to, and I would say that as Rian wouldn't be in his armor, so you would be able to see this kind of like sleeveless tunic that he has on right now. You can see all along the, what would be left side of his body, like the entire left arm. He's got this, like, no better way to describe it, sick-ass tattoo sleeve. Like, it's great. And you can see that it is, yeah, it's the fucking, it's so cool. It's such a cool tattoo sleeve. But yeah, you can see that there are what look to be four kind of, not necessarily like shifting at all, but there's this sort of like glint to them. As he says, he sort of gestures to the sword and then gestures to his arm. When I was trying to move those from there to here, gesturing to the sword, I ran into a few problems first time around, so I understand.
Would you produce the blade for me, please?
And he'll draw it and sort of hold it out in his two hands. Or I suppose set it down on the table, maybe, whatever's more convenient to Gideon's purposes.
Table will be fine for now.
Yeah.
Gideon will take a finger, and he'll just very kind of slowly, and he has gloves on, he just kind of very slowly runs it along the blade, and you see this kind of little shimmering effect. So he kind of seems to just, like, very lightly put this, like, magical coating on it. And then reaching into his jacket again, he pulls out this vial that appears to just be, like, this, like, gray sort of, like, ooze, not the one from Basil's dust that I created, different one, just for anyone that was worried about that.
Damn.
But he'll pull out just like this cloth and put it to the beaker and kind of like turn it in so like it gets wet but doesn't like drench the cloth. And he'll hold it out to Rian.
Take it.
Just very slowly rub it up and down the blade.
Okay. He'll do so.
About 5 times should do it.
It's from Legend of Zelda. Yes, it is. Okay. Okay, so he'll do that.
And yeah, and just as you do it, you kind of see like the magic kind of taking this like shine, like it's it seems to kind of like the gray ooze kind of almost seems to like be bleeding into the sword. Like again, not doing any harm to it.
Yeah.
But it just kind of seems to be like absorbing the property of it. And as a rune knight, you're familiar with magic, and you can tell that just like, you know, it's not like this permanent enchantment, but it does seem to be improving the blade. And by the time you're done, you have a +1 weapon.
Oh shit! Okay.
Until I take it away.
No, never. Okay, 2 hit bonus and damage bonus. So it's +1 like to both, right?
Yep.
God damn.
Just makes it a +1 weapon.
Oh god, Rian's doing
Sick
a lot
ass.
of damage. He's got +7 to damage with that sword now.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
What did
Welcome.
we say?
No, yeah, he.
It's more monsters.
Oh.
No, let me be cool. Okay, so he'll do so, and he'll kind of do a couple of swings with it, and I'd say that Gideon, since obviously I don't like Rian doesn't know this, but Joe, knowing your like more military background, it's seeing Rian as like a dex-based fighter. Whenever he like goes into these positions, it is very like ballet almost, where it's very delicate and very light. But there's a lot of strength in the follow-throughs, and he does a few test swings, and he kind of feels the weight. It's impressive. Thank you so much. And he'll kind of sheath the blade, and he is not Ursa, so he's going to clap you on the shoulder. Thank you, Gideon.
Wow.
I appreciate it. He's not a hugger. Thank you.
You're welcome. Like I said, I don't know what we're going to run into today, so thought I would get everyone as well armed as we could. I need to go see Vey and Basil before we meet up with Eldar. So
You might want to go to
will.
Basil first.
yes, I did get that impression.
Yeah.
But I will take my leave and I'll see you both later.
Yes.
Thanks again, Gideon.
You're welcome. And if you prefer a different scent or sound, let me know and I'll see what I can come up with.
I'll just give you a smile and a nod as you head out.
Okay. So as Gideon heads out of Brienne and Yrsa's room, Gak, you lumber down the hallway and you knock on a door. Vey, there's a knock on your door.
Yeah, Vey's probably up by now. He'd go and open it. He's not Rianne, so he just opens it. He just trusts that
Standing
it's
before
not
you
a
is,
murderer.
Standing before you is your new Goliath friend, Gak.
I think Vey kind of pauses. He's like, "Morning."
Hi. Good morning, Vey.
Morning.
How are you? Did you how are you feeling? Did you get a good sleep? Do you feel good today?
Yeah, about as good as anyone can feel.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, so yesterday I was looking at you when we were at the dinner, and then after the dinner, and when you went into the tavern after we talked to that one guy, and I just wanted to make sure that you were okay because it looked like you weren't very happy or upset, and I just wanted to make sure that maybe after a nice sleep you were feeling better.
Vey is like trying to take it all in because that was like a really long way to say that. And he's like, I mean, I do appreciate your concern. That's very kind of you. I'm fine though, truly. I guess a lot of new people has kind of made me twitchy.
Oh yeah, I feel the same. I mean, I'm constantly meeting more people than I've ever seen before, and it's a lot, but it's kind of cool.
Vey kind of turns and he's like, I bet it's a lot. Hopefully your experience so far has been good.
Yeah, I especially like all you guys. I think you're all really nice, and that the one guy with the scale dog, he's not super nice, but you know, I really like you guys. And I just wanted to make sure that all of you guys are feeling good, and you're the one that seemed to be not feeling good the most. I have something for you.
Vey would kind of pause. He's like, you didn't have to.
No,
What do you
it's
mean?
okay. And Gak's gonna start digging around in his jacket, and it's a little bit crumpled, but you see he pulls this out. And he goes, "Last night I wasn't too tired, so I got some paper and I drew this for you." And you see a little drawing, very crude drawing of Vey that Gak has made.
Vey looks very touched. He kind of is surprised, and he's like, "Well, I'll be darned. That's a very good rendition of me. That's so sweet."
Thank you. I tried to get your hair.
I think you did it. I mean, I can tell it's me. Capture my
Oh.
likeness exactly.
Vey, you hear, "This is pretty spot on."
Yeah, Vey's nodding like he agrees. He can tell it's him.
Well, I just wanted to give it to you, and hopefully, I always think that it's good to start the day on a high note, on a bright note, and hopefully it'll make the rest of the day good. Because I know yesterday was stressful, so you can have this and you can do whatever you want with it. But hopefully it makes your day better.
Aw, yeah, Vey. He's like, well, thank you kindly. Truly, that's. I'm touched that you would be so worried to try to cheer me up. I'm gonna keep this very, very safe. and he'd kind of take out one of his kind of like journals, books, and gently fold it in there so he makes sure that it doesn't get damaged. But you can tell he treats it with a lot of care.
I'm glad you like it. So in the room next door, there's a party going on, and I think we're both invited. So if you want to come on over, we can go hang out with the whole group's over there.
Everyone is over there having a party.
Well, it was you, me, and Basil weren't there, but everyone else was there, and I was trying to find you, and I found them. But I told them I'd be back, and I don't want to disappoint them. So I'm gonna go. You don't have to, but I'm gonna go over there, and then I'm sure we'll meet down in the main place anyway.
No. I got to see this. I didn't think Rianne knew how to have a party, but now I can look and see.
No, it seemed really bumping.
Yeah, no, they would follow Gak out of the. He thinks there's a party going on.
Open the
I think,
door. Rianne's just throwing dice. She's like, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gak might not knock this time. He's not gonna barge in, but he is gonna like open it and slowly and be like, "All right, I got Vay. We're here."
All right, Gak, you open the door to your son Rian's room, and Vay, you look in. It's just your son Rian. Gideon's gone.
This is literally what, as soon as he walks in, this is what Rianne is doing. Come on in, Gak. Did you bring Vay with you?
Yeah, I did.
Wasn't
Wasn't Gideon here?
Party.
I
But,
think there may have been a little mistake. Gideon was just visiting with us this morning when Gak happened to stop by.
Oh, that's okay.
Right.
And
And
Gak's
you can
just
see
gonna
Vay,
like
cough and try to
Yeah, I
cover
think-
up a laugh.
everyone is just standing there silently. Gak's looking around.
How about we all go down and get some breakfast before
That is
we
a great
run
idea.
off?
Let's do that.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry if I didn't. I thought we were all getting together.
We are now.
While this is happening, you guys are leaving the room. Gideon, were you heading to Basil's room?
Yeah.
Okay, Basil. You hear a knock on the door.
Is this going to be every morning with this group? I need to go.
I need to put you guys at a campsite so this is a lot more accessible.
I need Gak to always walk into the wrong room and interrupt something.
Basil, you are already awake at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But you do hear a knock on your door.
Basil just kind of slides off of her bed and walks over to the door and kind of like Vay just opens it. Oh, hello, Gideon. What do I owe the pleasure of seeing you this morning? I mean, I was going to see you anyway, but at my door.
Specifically, specifically, I did some of the work I told you I was going to do. I thought you'd want to see and discuss what I found.
Yes, of course.
It's still in my room if you want to meet me over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just, I don't have to bring anything. Let's just go.
Okay. And he will escort her over there and head into his room where he's kind of set everything up.
As you're heading
By the
away
way,
from
as
your
the
room.
door closes, well, I guess you're not really. As you head into Gideon's room, the rest of the party is heading out of Rian and Yursa's room and heading downstairs.
Rian is the first out.
Hello, everyone. I didn't know you guys were having a party. I wasn't invited.
It wasn't a party.
I was just
No,
about to come get you.
It definitely is a party. There's gonna be drinks downstairs now. Rianne is hosting. Actually, he's the one who thought this would be a good idea.
Rian's already down the bottom of the stairs.
he's like pointing at this empty stairs.
Basil, when you're ready, please come and join us for breakfast. I have a feeling it will be a party before it's over.
I hope so. Gideon's just going to show me something really quick, and we'll be down.
if everyone goes down the stairs, I want Gak to be the last one, and he's gonna kind of lean over to Gideon and Basil and be like, I really thought that we were supposed to all get together in their room.
It's okay, Gak. Don't worry. I was joking. I wasn't.
I know, it's just half of us were already in there. I thought that's
No.
where we were going.
I'm
That's
not
okay.
someone to get together in the morning anyway, so don't worry.
Okay, I'll make a mental note of that. And then Gak's gonna head down the stairs. As Gideon goes, Gak,
It wasn't that important anyway.
I assume so. After you?
Yes. And he'll take her inside and he'll take her to this little desk where he's worked on his little experiments. This one I kept separate just as a control group to just kind of keep an eye on it, maybe do a little bit of work later.
Mm-hmm.
This one, pointing to the second one, I introduced a little bit of earth from the outside to see the effect on it.
Okay.
As you can see, the spread was quite rapid.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, he'll motion over to the strangest looking substance. This one was interesting. I wanted to see the effect that water had on it. You mentioned you had a garden, but
Yes.
I wasn't quite sure what water would do to it, and it was fascinating. It was like oil and water. At first they refused to mix, and then after some time they finally did, and kind of looking down on it, you see it's kind of like pulsing or like almost moving slightly. Well,
Oh,
that.
this is disgusting.
Just to be clear,
Mhm.
it's not constantly pulsating, undulating. It does it like every 5 minutes.
Okay.
You can
Well,
see
he'll
it
wait.
happen.
He'll wait and he'll like point it out when it happens.
You tried sticking anything in it?
Such as.
I don't know. Take a feather out of one of the pillows, put a stick in it. Not your finger, but
I haven't yet. The material I had to work with was limited, so I thought some baseline tests would be appropriate to start before moving any further. I'm a little concerned by what we're seeing. It's more advanced than I initially thought. This isn't just some mold or decay, or at least it's the most advanced kind I've ever seen.
it's nothing like I've ever seen before, and I'm going to be honest, I have very little hope to make it back home to see my garden still there.
Well, let's not give up quite yet on that. I'm worried that...
Not giving up, it's just... If I can rebuild it, I mean, who knows? Who knows if it will affect the soil, if it will affect the... I live close to a small body of water, so I don't know if it will even affect that. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I'm worried that this might be a lot more than what I was initially expecting. I have no concrete evidence of anything quite yet, as I said, limited material to work with, but this seems very parasitical in nature. And I'm concerned that whatever this is either can be weaponized or perhaps already is.
Well, I know we said if we're all still in agreement, we're still going to that magic school that Gak wants to get into. Do you think that there will be someone there who... I don't even know what you can study to have any kind of idea with this. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't know what the next steps are necessarily.
Well, I'm afraid I don't quite know either. With your permission, I I know you only have a certain amount, but I would like more material to work with to see if I can figure out just how dangerous this is. Because when I took that whiff last night, I must admit it hurt more than I tried to let on. I'm worried about the wrong people coming across this, and there being some consequences.
Well, maybe it's affecting more areas than just mine. I haven't run into this situation on my way to Hambafort, but that doesn't mean that it's not anywhere else.
Possible. Do you have a few more minutes by chance? There's one test I'd like to run, but I was hoping you could be here for it.
Sure.
Just for the sake of brevity, Gideon is going to ritual cast Detect Magic.
Okay. As you cast Detect Magic, it's not magical.
Interesting. Like, not even a trace of anything. It seems organic.
Mm-hmm.
Curious. Huh.
What's the range of it, by the way?
Let me double check.
Is it 30 feet? Oh, wait. Never mind. I can't go through surfaces. I've learned this. Never mind.
Alright, cool. Anyway. Oh. Doesn't seem magical in nature. Which, I'm not sure if that makes me feel better or not.
Do you mind if I try something as well?
By all means, it's yours.
And then Basil wants to do detect poison and disease.
What does that do? Does it just detect poison and disease?
It detects poison and or disease.
You can sense the presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of you. You also identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease in each case. It can penetrate most barriers, but it's blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
Okay. Interesting. As you cast the spell, detect poison. And you do detect disease. However, the type of poison and disease is something you cannot ascertain, which leads to make you believe that this is something you've never heard of, experienced at all.
I don't think, like you said, I don't think it's magic. I don't know where it came from. I know plants. I spent so much of my life studying them and working with them, but this kind of natural disease and poison that's happening, it's nothing like I've ever seen or experienced before in my life. I can't even think about what it could be similar to.
Perhaps this schools of magic tend to have fairly well-read and well-learned people. There might be someone who, bare minimum, might be able to point us to someone who knows. Bare minimum, no harm in asking.
I hope so.
I'm doing my best here, but I'm shooting in the dark.
I appreciate any kind of help, even if it is shots in the dark.
Well, would you mind if I had a little bit more material? I don't have a lot to work with this, but there's a few more tests I'd like to run if possible. Not this morning, but later.
Yes, I have a little bit left. When would you like it? I mean, you can have the jar, I guess.
Well, tell you what. And he'll grab the little vial that was like his control group. We should keep onto this as a reference to it to make sure that whoever we talk to has a pure sample to work from. If you give me the rest, I will try and figure out as much as I can.
Be careful. And she reaches into her bag and hands him the mason jar with the very small amount left that he didn't originally take.
Alright. He will give you the pure sample.
Thank
We
you.
we have other things to work on today, though, so we should go down and find the others.
Yes. And she leaves the room first and heads downstairs to meet everybody at the breakfast table.
Okay. The rest of you, as Gideon and Basil are upstairs, as you all walk downstairs, strange. You're used to being in the tavern and there not being basically anybody in the tavern. However, this morning, eating breakfast at separate tables are different parties of people. You can see a table with what looks like a halfling individual, a human, and an elf. At another table, you can see what looks like a half-orc individual, another human, and a gnome. All of these people are dressed differently, but one dressed as though they are traveling, but their clothes look a little bit more expensive than the people in Hambafort. Also, as Alan is giving them their food and their drinks, looks over to you all and just waves and kind of letting you know he'll be with you in a second. You do see sitting at a table is Eldar. As he looks over to the party walking down the stairs and just signals for all of you.
Rian will wave back.
Oh, it's him. Under his breath.
Gideon.
Can we go down with him?
Rian will
Gideon
kinda-
Basil downstairs yet?
Not yet. This is
Okay.
you guys were up there for about like 5 minutes.
Should we go sit down with him?
I really
Yes,
don't
we
want to,
should.
but yes, we should. Rian's just kind of like rubbing his like mustache out of his mouth, trying to cover up his mouth so Eldar can't read his lips.
Oh man, what about a party? Damn it. All right.
Every party needs a pooper.
Well, let's go meet our pooper then.
Oh my
no,
God.
Yursa, please don't encourage it.
I'm just trying to make a little light out of the situation. Run. And she'll
Hey,
walk over.
Eldar!
Hello.
Yes. Good morning, Eldar. Would you like some
Morning.
company, or?
Well, I was expecting it. You all sleep in this late usually, or?
Oh, it's
No,
on
there was a party going on in my room apparently that I was
Party?
not aware of. Yes.
Ow.
So,
This early in the morning.
well, you know me.
I
Party
don't,
animal.
Actually.
Now you do. And he'll sit down.
You could hear. I'll be right with everyone. We're a little busy this morning, and you can see Alan is like running around and trying to feed this table and get their drinks. And Rian, you look at these people as you were the only one who's been outside so far.
Mhm.
You can maybe ascertain that these
Connections.
something to do with the carts that are outside.
Yeah.
As Eldar looks to all of you and goes, well, are we ready? Oh, wait. I think we're waiting for 2, right?
Yep.
Yes.
You all look so irritated.
Us?
I look
Irritated? I
irritated?
mean, never in my life.
All right. Well,
I'm not.
Are you eating breakfast first before we leave, or are we just heading out?
Oh, you gotta have breakfast.
Well, I have. I've been down here for about 30 minutes now.
I wasn't meaning you as in you. It was you as in like we. And Gak's gonna look to Rihanna and be like, this guy. Like that. Like that kind of-
And Rian's
Oh
gonna
my
smile and
God.
nod. He's gonna be like, "Yeah, Gak, this guy."
This guy doesn't understand.
Bay is gonna reach into his pouch and slide over 2 gold pieces towards Eldar. And he's like, I just want you to be nice. Just more flies with honey than vinegar, right?
My apologies. I'm sorry for intruding on your breakfast. Please, eat. You'll need it. The energy for today. We have a long travel ahead of us. We can talk while you eat, or I could just stay here, sit here, and talk it all if you would prefer. At this point, Basil and Gideon, you're walking downstairs. Oh, there they are.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How
Eldar,
many?
I hope you slept well.
I did. Thank you. Basil, was it?
Yes, it's Basil.
How many chairs are at the table?
I would say that one or two of you would have had to pull up a chair, but it doesn't matter.
I think
There
Gak's
were not
gonna.
enough for everybody.
Yeah, Gak's gonna be like, "Oh, I wish we all had a place to sit," and just kind of look at Eldar.
I'm already sitting.
Right.
Is
Oh,
Eldar
Ugh.
sitting at the edge?
It's like a round table.
Oh, okay.
I think it's time for breakfast.
Alan eventually comes over. Oh, good morning, everyone. Sorry it took me so long. Is everyone want the regular that they've been having the past couple days, or anyone want some ale or waters?
Just
I-
the usual, Alan, please.
This
Yes,
is my
please.
this is my first breakfast here. I don't even know what they got. Give me Basil's usual.
All right. Anybody else want to change up the order? Or?
No, thank you.
Alan,
right.
just a question.
Yeah.
Ursa's looking around. I see that business is booming this morning. Who are
Yes.
all these new visitors?
It looks like they are merchants and traveling through Hambafort, and well, whatever you said that mayor's doing seems to be working. All of them are coming in to pick up some supplies and whatever they bought, and they're heading back.
Right. Well, that's good then. Good for
Yeah.
business. Good for the town.
Very much so. I'm not used to this many people. A little overwhelming, but keep me on my feet. I haven't waited this many people in a long time, so I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but you can see a person on one of the tables. Yeah, I'll be right with you. I'll be right back with your food and your drinks. Yep. All right.
No
No worries.
rush.
Go ahead.
And he turns around and, all right, I'll be right there. And he walks off. And Eldar
Wow.
just sits there with his hand underneath his chin, just looking at all of you.
But it's so nice we could all eat breakfast together. Oh, Eldar, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you were done with your breakfast. We would have come down earlier.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm an early bird.
Oh, I am too.
Really?
Don't need that
Didn't
many
notice.
hours. No? I prefer to stay upstairs. I find the company of myself to be better than others.
Oh,
I can.
Oh my god. Vey takes out a gold piece and slides it towards Basil.
They keep your
I'll-
coin. I will be nice. I will be
I'm
nice.
begging you. I'm just truly from the bottom of my heart, both of you.
We're
Please.
having a
Those
civil
eyes are just-
conversation.
Looking at all of them, just darting between May, Basil, and Eldar. Eldar, well, if you are such an early riser, then perhaps you have news or anything that has happened in the night, or are we still where we were yesterday?
Well, hours ago, there were no attacks, so we're back where we were.
Well, that's better than there being recent attacks, especially with new people in town.
Way too upbeat for this.
I was vibing.
Sorry.
You ruined my groove.
Is the plan, of course, after you're done eating and drinking and having your fill, to head towards the outskirts of the Shadow Spires and the Mallow Grove, or do you have other plans?
Accompany you to the location you were mentioning yesterday.
Yes. I thought that was the plan. I just wanted to make sure.
How long will it take us to get there?
At a walking pace, probably 3 or 4 hours.
What about at the pace of like a race?
What does that mean?
It
Like
means
if
if
we
you're
were
running,
racing.
hold
If we were racing.
Well, you have to be more specific. If you're running, if we're running, which I would not, we should do that for 3 to 4 hours.
Well, it wouldn't be
3
that
hours.
long.
It would probably cut off an hour.
Oh, okay.
All you had to say.
He looks over at Vey, and
God,
he's kind of twiddling like a gold in his hand.
God, it's like, I'm gonna go broke before y'all are nice to each other. I can't, I'm sorry. At this point, you gotta manifest kindness. Just
I'm
think
sure
about it.
I'm sure we will have plenty of conversations, and you'll grow to deal with me.
Right.
I feel like I'm already dealing with you.
In a way,
it sounds
yes.
yeah, I think we're on a good page.
I think so. Wow, where is your food?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm so hungry.
It's been 3 minutes.
It feels like a lot longer.
Oh my God.
You know what? I can feel a little tension here. I'm going to go outside and wait. And he
Okay.
gets up. Enjoy your breakfast.
Just meet you outside?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he, all right. And he just walks off, leaving you all to yourselves.
Jeesh.
All right. Well, I know he's not the kindest, nor does he really care much about what's actually happening here. And he's also very rude. But, all that aside, I think that went well.
Yeah, I could have been a lot meaner.
And I believe you.
I am trying my best. I promise, Vey. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to steal your coins, but I've met dead people with more personality than him.
Damn.
Yeah. I just think that if he is the most annoying person you've ever met, then you have had a very nice life. Everyone who's noble acts like that, worse than that. Just get ready. If you ever have to go somewhere where there's politics, it's over for you. I don't know what to say. Best thing to do is just not rise to the bait. Just ignore it.
Is anyone else concerned about his potential involvement in all this?
It is very convenient that he seems to be at every attack. It is concerning. But if we're going out here with him, perhaps we're bound to find the truth, right? And if another attack seems to happen, I mean, we'll catch him in the act if he is involved.
I think
Oh no, you go.
I was just going to say, I think that one thing to do is that if we go, when we go, I guess I should say, and if there's anything that we find suspicious of any sort at this source of infection, And he tells us, don't worry about it. I've already looked at it. I think that it's in our best interest to give it a second glance. If he is involved in it, I don't think that he would be above lying to us all in that moment. Not necessarily enough evidence as of right now, but it's all very convenient, it seems.
I mean, sorry, go ahead. I know you want to talk.
No, I just recommend everyone keep their guard up. We really don't know what we're walking into out there.
I don't know. So I'm always cool with going for a walk, but there's a lot of people in the town now, and I'm worried what would happen if there's an attack in the town while we all go out there. Do you think some of us should wait around here just in case?
I don't think any of us should separate from each other. That sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. And it seems as though Eldar is unwilling to budge on staying.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just so worried. And then Gak's gonna look around. Does he feel like any of the people that are like in the tavern look like they are experienced in like adventure, like any of the party members, or they're experienced travelers because they're merchants? But does anyone look like they could handle something if something went wrong?
Yeah, they're like any caravan guards.
Yeah, actually, there are for each party that you see, out of the three, the half-orc figure looks to be wearing some sort of chainmail and has a longsword at his side. There's another individual with a shield and longsword as well. It looks like there are people with these caravans that are fighters.
Okay.
Or guards. Also, Vey, you were going to say something.
Oh, no. Vey was just going to point out, he's like, I mean, I think his being a straight bastard is actually in our favor, because I think if he was really trying to trick us, he would at least try to be nice and tolerable. But since he's not, I think he's just awful in a normal way.
Almost worse. Almost worse.
Taking advantage of a terrible situation. Vey's right. Awful in a normal way.
At this point, Alan does come over with your various meals. Here you all are. Here's yours and yours. Don't worry about payment right now. I really can't handle doing math at this moment. When you come back, and I'll get you later. I'll bill you later when you come back to sleep. You are coming back to sleep, right?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
All
As
right.
far as we know.
Okay. Yeah. Again. Wait till later. Bye. Okay. And he just
Bye.
walks off again.
Good luck. I hope he has a good day.
Seems
You're
as
so
though
sweet,
it'll be.
Gak.
Thank you. Well, I feel like these people with the swords and the metal could probably, I don't know, they'd be able to protect people if we aren't here. So I guess we should all go.
And hopefully, when we go out there, we'll figure out what the problem is and solve it before there's any other attacks.
All right. Well, let's eat.
all eat up and get going.
Head that way.
So you all eat your fill, drink your drinks, and head out of the tavern.
Yeah.
Okay. As you head out of the tavern, the rain's picked up a little bit, but not heavy. But it is, you can see there are puddles forming in the dirt road of Hambafort. The gutters on the various buildings are starting to overfull just a little bit. But you can see leaned up against one of the poles outside on the patio of the tavern is Eldar, and beside him, Billow, as he looks over and goes, "You ready, or anything else you want to take care of?"
I think we're probably good to go.
Lead the way.
No one here minds rain, do they?
No.
All right. Follow me. And he starts leading you out of the town of Hambafort. So it will be about 4 hours of travel.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that Eldar is keeping a decent distance away from you all. Unless you guys are not letting him.
No.
I mean,
yeah.
I think we'd let it be like 10 feet in front of us, but not like 50 feet in front of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Not like an awkward, like.
No,
I
it
don't
was
know.
gonna be. It was he was trying to keep like a 30-foot distance from everybody.
No.
10 is
Gak-
good.
I think 10 sounds good, right?
Yeah, Gak is gonna always forget. He's gonna see that the party is trying to keep a like a certain distance, but Gak keeps like getting too close, and
Okay.
he's like, oh, and then like takes a step back. But he's always like, sometimes he's just right behind him.
Yeah.
Right.
Like like really close.
And Rian is going to let people take turns on Hikari, sort of rest their legs from the walk.
Nice.
As
I
you
would.
all are.
Oh,
Go ahead,
sorry.
sorry.
Go ahead. No.
No, go.
I would say Vey is probably trying to keep close to Eldar, in just kind of positioning himself a little bit between the party and this man, because he's just to be safe. If Eldar says something extremely abhorrent, to be able to stop bloody murder.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. At this point, the rain has picked up a little bit. But as you are all walking, is there anything you guys would like to chat about? Eldar is not being very chatty at the moment.
Gideon has something real quick. He's going to walk forward and tap Vey on the shoulder for just a second.
Vey would turn and he's like, "Hi, yes."
Hi. We don't know how things are going to go today. Is there any chance that I could put a little enchantment on your shield?
Sure. And he looks confused. It's obvious that he didn't expect you to be able to enchant something. You seemed very mechanic to him, so he was like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, he pulled it out.
All right. Gideon pulls out this little glass vial that just seems full of just like this very thin, like metal shavings, and he'll pour like a decent amount into his hand, like crush it in his hand and shake it, and he'll just kind of like throw it at your shield, and it kind of hits and has like this bounce effect, and then it kind of just like almost kind of like sticks back to the shield, but you don't see anything on the shield. It just seems to kind of like almost like adhere to the material and even change to the color to where it like looks exactly the same. But now you have a +1 shield.
Oh damn!
Yes. Okay. Does that increase your armor class to 20?
I think so.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
That's 10
You can
more
s-
than Gak.
You can see Eldar looks back and just keeps walking. Like he notices it and then just like kind of smiles and takes a note.
He's trying to strategize against us.
Dang it.
He knows our strengths now.
You can also see that Eldar is very quickly darting his head back and forth as you guys kind of get closer to like the trees and the mountains. Most of it is open field out for the first hour or two. Once you get to hour 3 is when you start to see the tree line and the mountains in the distance.
Is there
I will.
something we should be aware of in these woods, Eldar?
Well, there have been beast attacks. So, beast.
Oh my fucking
Right.
god. Fuck you, you fucking dumb ass. Ah.
Rayanne, it's okay.
Oh my god. No, that was
Yeah.
that was Joe, his
I
voice
know.
traveling through the multiverse with a vicious mockery towards that dickweed.
What was that?
Oh
Um,
my
Did you
We have
really
god.
expect
question.
any other answer from
Yeah,
Eldar?
yeah, yeah.
Did you really expect a different answer?
Is Yursa familiar with the direction that they're walking, or is this like an entirely different area that she's probably not been through for a hot minute?
Actually,
Oh,
this specific spot, it's more towards the Shatter Spires in the Mallow Grove. But
but
there was a brief time where you were in this kind of area that you think about
And
2.5 years ago, maybe a little bit more.
okay, she's just wondering because like, what is the animal activity in this area? Like, is there? Because typically, if there's not a lot of animals around, something sus is going on. But like, are
Oh,
there a lot of animals just kind of vibing?
Well, in the Mallow Grove, you know that there are many animals and beasts and all kinds of life. Some are predatorials, some not so much. Obviously, none of them travel outside the Mallow Grove to attack people. The Shatter Spires you haven't really frequented too much, and from stories that you've heard, it's kind of untapped territory. Not a lot of people go here.
Gotcha. That's it.
Yeah.
She's just keeping an eye out.
We are about hour and a half away. If anyone has any preparation to do.
my god.
Oh.
I'm good.
Hmm. No, I don't think so.
I just need to breathe a little bit. I need to calm my nerves, so to speak.
Yes, I would suggest that we may or may not encounter beasts.
Oh, are there
Oh.
beasts in these parts of the forest? I wasn't aware.
Yeah,
Rhea.
funny.
Oh, yeah, Rian, there are beasts.
There are
in
beasts in this
part.
part of the forest. Huh?
There are
he-
beasts.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Eldar.
Uh,
So Basil was asking Eldar if there was anything we had to worry about, and he said that there are beasts around here. He just said it actually.
There are beasts in the forest.
I did. There are beasts in the forest.
My goodness.
Are they the?
Does the mayor know
so-
about this?
Uh,
Yeah.
He should hire someone to deal with this, I think.
Does this have
should.
anything to do with the beasts that were attacking? The
It
town?
might. It might.
I think
Actually.
we all should just remain focused on the task at hand. Here, Yak, why don't you do me a favor? Count how many petals are on this flower. And she's gonna like druid craft a flower and hand it to Gak. Vrian, why don't you do me a favor? And why don't you breathe? Hazel,
Gideon downs 5 Advil.
Vay kind of
just
leans over.
give
He's
him out
like,
of Basil.
I would offer gold, but I don't think Rianne's very gold motivated, so I can't
No.
help in the situation. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Just a few more hours, hopefully. Oh God! Plus we have to walk back. God damn it!
Oh no. Can Basil, while they're walking, so they have some time, is there any inclination of any spirits around us?
Make a religion check.
Ooh. First roll of the night.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be bad.
Uh oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Not uh-oh.
Unnatural 20.
Oh, dirty 20.
Okay. No, there are not.
Aw.
But you're certain.
However, as you kind of go further and further into the forest and get closer and closer to wherever Eldar is taking you all, there's this weird interference with the connection that you have. Not that you can't the connection, but it's almost like it's like an overlap of existence. Weird. It's this very weird spiritual feeling you're getting. As it's happening, Eldar says, "Well, just so that you know, I know that we've been bickering and fighting this entire last half. Where we're going, there's a small pond per se. This is where I found the flowers. These flowers that range from all kinds of different colors, and I've actually never seen these kind of flowers before. And I frequent the forest quite often. This is what I believe is responsible, but I haven't tested it. But we're close."
Are there any ravens or crows around?
There are not, especially
Yeah.
with the rain.
Okay.
There's actually, you guys can't see much wildlife right now. It seems like most anything that would be out during the day is kind of sheltered itself underneath trees or anywhere else. There's no birds flying. Is there anything else anybody would like to do before you get to your location?
Gak is just playing with his dancing lights.
Okay.
Just in front of him, they're kind of bouncing around. And
How many petals were on the
Distracted.
flower?
Depends on what type of flower it was.
What type of flower was it, Yursa?
It was definitely a mallow, which I think has like 8 long petals on it.
Yeah, it was more than 2.
Oh,
So-
only has 5.
Eventually, music for this? Just gonna play some. Not that one. That one. Not that one. Sure, this works. So as you are making your way through this forest, it keeps getting thicker and thicker. The trees kind of get a little bit bigger as you go inward as well. And eventually you come to a small clearing of trees. And you can see a pond, a small little pond in front of you. And kind of lining the outside rim of this pond are these multicolored flowers. They look different than any kind of flower that you've ever seen. They have like a almost alien nature to them. The pond itself actually also is kind of shimmering this pink, translucent as well. And Eldar goes, "This is what I was talking about."
So I'll let people who are better at this kind of stuff investigate, but Rian would just like to, right now, keep an eye out for any threat or any suspicious activity from the line of the forest towards the pond, or from Eldar himself. Just any type of negative behavior towards us. Rian wants to keep a sharp eye out for that.
Make a general perception check, and then also yes, Yursa.
Sorry. Does this resemble the pond that she's familiar with from home, or no? This is a different kind of magic strangeness.
Currently right now you guys are about like maybe 200 to 150 feet away. You'd have to get a little closer to kind of really hone in if you've ever noticed this kind of stuff before.
Okay. Then she's just gonna wait till she gets a little closer then to further investigate that.
Also, anybody who would like to make a perception check can at this moment.
I think Gak will probably send his dancing lights out, almost like going in front of us, and they look like they're scouting out the location, but really he's just trying to perceive. Ooh.
Nice. Good thing Gak is here.
Natural 20.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'll just go down the list. Basil, what did you roll?
Oh, I
Did you
didn't do
roll?
a perception. Mm-mm.
Okay. Gak.
18.
Okay. Gideon, natural 20, but what's the total?
24.
Okay. Rian.
7.
Vey.
4. Not to brag, but
But a natural 1.
yeah.
Oh, natural 1. Vey, you're kind of trying to look out and water drips into your eye and you're like, fuck. Yursa.
18.
Nice. Look at us.
Hey.
Okay. So Gideon and Gak, you are looking around and keeping a very, very, very keen eye. I'll come back to the natural 20 here in a second. Yursa,
I'm done.
as you're looking around, you're fixated on the pond. And as everyone moves closer and closer, Yursa, you've seen these flowers before. They resemble quite well the flowers you have lived around most of your life.
I think as soon as she kind of makes that realization and like some dots are connecting in her head, she just kind of continues to stare at the pond. And like every now and then she'll also kind of glance over at Rianne. Where's Eldar right now?
He's kind of behind he's got his bow out and he's kind of looking around. He's not looking at anybody in the party. He's kind of looking at the tree lines and stuff. Actually, he didn't make a pretty good.
As he's looking around, you're just gonna kind of like whoever's closest to her and just kind of like gather up the party and try not to include Eldar because we don't like him. She's just gonna say, so, all right, these flowers here and the pond, they resemble something very close to home for me. I think that there may be a rift gate nearby, and
A what?
so like a door to the Feywild. And sometimes, if that door is left open or is opened, different creatures can find their way out. But even wherever it exists, just being here can cause a very specific kind of magic and can transform simple plants like these. And well, where I'm from, our gate was located underneath our lake. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what's happening here, but this is very, very familiar.
So, did you resolve it where you're from?
Well, resolve it is... that's not quite... it's not a bad thing, by any means. It's a good thing. It's just a gateway to home for many people and creatures. I wasn't there to close it or get rid of it. I was there to protect it. But there are some doors like this that just exist in the world that don't have anyone to protect it.
And do you think that's why there's so many problems? Is it because it needs to be protected?
And you can see she just kind of looks confused for a moment. Out of all of the different creatures that have come out of at least the gate in my home, it's been very clear that there is something dark inside of them. What we're seeing here is not like that at all. It's, like I said before, something is controlling them. Maybe whatever it is came out of that door. And if that's the case, maybe it is open and it shouldn't be. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of speculating off of what I'm seeing.
I
So
don't.
the. Oh, you can go.
I don't mean to interject, but we're not alone here.
Ursa will stop talking.
Everybody who rolled above an 18 perception, you also notice that Eldar has pulled his bow back by his side, and he's looking directly at the tree line.
Shall I make a perception? Because I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Just a... That's performance. That is
Back to
perception.
you, Gideon. Sorry,
What?
you were saying something, but
Oh, I think Gideon would just like very kind of like just kind of like the slightest kind of head nudge and like a movement of the eye to kind of try and indicate where he saw something, but trying not to be like too obvious.
Mm-hmm. And you said Eldar is has an arrow pulled back as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Rian will follow
he has
suit.
his
And
bow off to his side, and he has it pulled back, like ready.
Yeah, Rian will follow suit because he'd taken out his bow and an arrow and knocked it back, and he'll pull back as well.
Eldar does. Who's closest to Eldar currently? Because he's in the back right now.
I mean, we're all kind of grouped up, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah, Ursa got everyone together.
I'm closer to the pond than Eldar.
I'd say probably because Rian followed suit, you would probably be the closest.
Okay.
You hear Eldar whisper to you, "You're not alone. Don't make any sudden movements." As he's saying this, Gak and Ursa, because you rolled high on your perception, you see in the trees, or is it the tree itself, this face, feminine, looks out and then dips back into the tree.
Guys, we're not alone.
God damn it. Mother Willow.
Maybe
Gak-
they just want to talk to us.
Yeah, Gak is. I imagine him standing in the middle of everybody, and he just towers over them. So he is, like, almost like a meerkat, just looking around, trying to see if he sees any more faces or anything else in the trees.
Yersa, maybe you should try and speak with them. Call out to them, see if they'll answer. They looked, similar to some things we've seen before.
What exactly do you mean similar to some things?
Ursa's just gonna give Eldar a look, and she's gonna ignore him and just walk past him. And she's gonna put both of her hands up. Go ahead.
Quick tap on her shoulder, cast guidance.
Oh, bless up, bless up.
Go ahead.
As you look over, you can hear Eldar whisper, "Great, no, don't tell me about the face coming out of the tree."
Yo, man, there's
And-
backstory stuff we don't even know about it. You don't get to know about it either.
Ursa, you look back to the tree line.
Yeah, she's just gonna like put both of her hands up and like open, like her palms facing up, to show that she, her staff is. She probably placed it on the ground. And she's just gonna say, "We are here to help you. We are here to cause no harm. Please, I would just like to talk. I
You
can
can
have my
see-
friends lower their weapons."
You can see a shift from tree to tree, like almost like just leaves come out of the tree itself and then just absorb back into another tree trunk. And then you can see the face once more. Make a wisdom saving throw, Ursa.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I rolled pretty good.
Oh,
Let me see
that's
what
good,
this
that's good,
is.
that's good.
Rolled a 15. Oh, hell yeah, my wisdom's dope. 21.
Oh,
You feel like this sensation of magic kind of course over your body, almost as it's trying to sway you in friendship. And you can see the face look curiously and start to speak. Does anyone here know Sylvan?
I do.
I do.
Oh shit, I do too. Yursa taught me Sylvan. Hell yeah!
Nice.
Okay.
How close are we to this thing?
You guys are about 70-ish feet.
Ah.
Probably a little less. Probably, I'll say 50.
Okay.
Can I inch closer to Yursa with just like my arms held open in a kind of like a we mean no harm way?
Yeah, you can.
Rian would also loosen the draw on his arrow or on his bow and kind of put the arrow back in the quiver and wrap the bow around his shoulder, because it definitely seems like, since the creature didn't attack immediately, probably don't need to be so aggressive.
You can hear a voice. Those who can understand Sylvan. What do you want with me?
We're here to help.
Help. Why? For what?
It seems that some lovely creatures have been affected by something in these parts, as well as some nature, and it's not something that we feel like we're used to or that we've seen in this plane. So I guess we're also here to maybe receive help as well.
The face absorbs back into the tree, and you can see the tree that it was in. The leaves above it start to like rustle and fall off a little bit, as you can see a feminine figure appear on one of the branches, kind of looking down at all of you. The entire face and skin and body looks to be made of bark. The eyes are just black. However, they don't give off this they don't give off this intimidating feel. It's more relaxed and welcoming. I don't know what you speak of. I would never harm animals.
I don't think it's you who's harming animals or nature itself. I guess we just know very little, and that's why we're here. We have experienced some strangeness happening with animals and how they've been acting, as well as a possible poison type sludge that has been affecting nature and pretty much turning so many different kinds of plants and flowers to dust. It's nothing like I believe any of us has ever seen before.
Does
We're just
Eldar?
not sure.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, does Eldar look like he understands what's being said?
No. He is looking around. He's actually looking. He's like, what is going on? And he's holding his bow at the ready.
Yeah, Rand's gonna look back and sort of gesture and say, "We're negotiating. Put your weapon down." And
Negotiating with what?
he says, "We're negotiating. Put your weapon down." And he's just gonna look back towards the others.
He loosens the bow, but he doesn't unlock the arrow.
Okay, that's fine. That's better than nothing.
What you speak of, I know not. Creatures. In these attacks, I know nothing. I am here, trying to get away from everything. It seems that every time I go somewhere, things follow. I just want to be left alone.
What has hurt you? What are you trying to leave?
I do not know what they're called, but they look like you. And she just looks at all of you. I'm not from here.
I understand. Our kind, well, I wish all of them were good people. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and I'm so sorry that you've had bad experiences. Even our kind, we have bad experiences with each other. That's the reason why our group here, we're trying to figure out what's happening. Is the good people are being hurt right now, and we're not sure how to protect them. These animals, it seems like they're being controlled by something. Their eyes are glowing red and maybe purple, and we're not quite sure what's causing that. Yosa, my companion here, she's able to speak with animals, and she spoke with one, and it seemed like it was in pain, that it was kind of trapped within its body, but it seemed like it was maybe the doing of magic rather than just animals going mad.
You can see her head kind of twitch and turn towards Yrsa as this creature says, "You can speak with animals."
Yes. I've always been able to speak with animals. Back where I am from, it was my job to protect the animals, the plants, our gate to the Feywild. Is that...
At this point, as you say Feywild, she disappears into the tree. You can see like a little bit of dirt starting to kick up as the creature pops up right in front of you, Yrsa, with this look of excitement. You know the Feywild. And you can see Eldar pulls back his bow.
Oh, he's like putting his hand
Someone
on the
tell
bow.
me what's going on.
I said we're negotiating. Put your weapon down.
You're gonna get us killed.
Hey, I don't know what's going on either.
I feel better.
I do know the Feywilds. Is that where you're from? We can get you back home. We can. It looks like there's a gate somewhere nearby.
I am from the Feywild. My name is Navara. And this is what you see.
Ooh.
Also,
she's cool.
There's no rift near here. This is because of me. All of this, and she points to the pond and the flowers.
Okay, well, that is a good start. If you're here, that means that there is a doorway somewhere nearby. And if you want, you can come along with us.
No, I don't wish to go back to the Feywild. As long as I can keep my distance from whatever it is you call yourselves. Much more enjoyed out here. I came from large trees with bridges built in. It's a cabin. From there, the rift. So you immediately notice she's talking about your home.
Yeah. And I know this place well. You sure you wouldn't want to go back?
No.
Alright. Well, you have every right to be here. And we will leave you. But please, if you see anything strange, these creatures, these animals that can't control control themselves. Just be careful.
You can see there is a moment where this conversation is happening, and that's the moment when Eldar pulls his bow back and Rian, you silence him. She kind of winces a little bit and looks past Yrsa at Eldar, and looks back at Yrsa, kind of breaks eye contact. Yes, yes, I would greatly like to stay here.
Do you know that man? She kind of just looks at Eldar with her eyes and turns her whole head towards him.
And just real quick, in this moment, I don't know, that made Rian feel a little weird because, like, as far as Rian understands, Lunaria is like a nice place for Fey creatures to be because they can get back home. Am I getting a weird vibe from her at all? Like, was that a look of recognition to Eldar, or was that like a look at like, oh, he's pointing an arrow at my face?
I'd say make an insight check. You can obviously tell there was a reaction from the arrow being pointed at her face.
Well, I guess I just misunderstood that because I was like, maybe she just there was. Bleh. Can I insight check as well? Because I thought
yes.
she just
Yes, you can.
didn't want to be in the Feywild anymore. She wants to go and explore, and not that she had a problem with
bitch!
Lunaria.
23. Sorry, got excited.
What is inside me? Blah, blah, blah.
Can Gak's not understanding what's happening, and he can tell that even Eldar is focusing on this person, so he wants to just start looking in other directions to make sure that nothing else is coming.
Okay. Make a perception check again. Yeah, Rian, with your insight, surface, it was the arrow being pointed at her. And then you don't see that the eyes of recognition weren't because of Lunaria in the conversation. It was as soon as Yrsa asked, do you know him? Have you seen him before? Which the conversation got cut off. But she, after that question, goes, I have seen him before. He's been around here a couple times.
Has he caused problems around here?
I have not made myself known. No. Currently.
Is that truthful?
With your insight, yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, cool. Okay, all right.
Has he brought anyone else here, or just by his lonesome?
You can see she's starting to get a little, like, she's looking around at everybody and getting a little uncomfortable being out in the open. And she immediately dives back into the dirt and pops back into another tree. And then she says, no, he didn't. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he rolled an 18.
Mm-hmm. Through the wind and the rain, there's a weird sound you start to hear. Like the flapping of wings. And you hear this almost like eagle call, like pierces the sky, and you see Eldar look up in like many directions. Yeah, you can tell that it's coming possibly from the directions in front of you to the right. I don't know what that is. Like kind of behind this creature, but like off into from the tree line.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also hear sounds like pattering of feet in the forest quickly in the direction of the party.
Gak's actually gonna say, "Hey, Aldi, it's coming from over there. The bird thing."
As
what?
you pointed out and look
Huh?
up.
What?
Everyone looks up. You can see cresting above the trees is a black feathered large bird creature with these two elongated wings that is with the face of almost like an eagle with 4 legs with talons on the end as it starts to dive in your direction. At the same time, you see coming out of the tree line what looked like a pack of 4 wolves making a beeline for the party, as well as this weird black panther creature that is darting in and out of the tree lines with these like tentacles on its back as it is making its way towards you all.
We're level 3, John.
I know.
And then there's also a red dragon that flies over and lands.
I need everyone to place your tokens and roll initiative.
Where's the? Well, I was right next to Eldar. I know that much.
Hell yeah.
I'm probably right here, actually.
You can see that the forest creature also just like dips into the trees, like she is gone.
Where was the forest creature at?
There's like a tree line back here that she is now gone.
Okay.
You can see her on the map if you can.
Okay. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so then
Oh,
I'll
I
just
guess.
have her token there.
See the rain.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I forgot to.
Okay. All right.
That was epic.
It was initiative. 15.
So at this moment, as these creatures are just barreling out of the forest, you hear Eldar go, "Great, I told you!" And he pulls up his bow and gets ready to attack. And as we roll initiative, I would then, I think after that, we'll go to break.
Nice.
My token's not.
What's up?
It's not letting my token. I can't drag it.
No?
Do you have the select
Oh.
move?
I just dragged it on. Can you drag that?
Yes.
There you go. Okay.
Well. Cool. All right. Thank you.
No problemo.
Do we need to roll initiative again? Some of us rolled initiative before our.
No. I'll put it in.
Okay, perfect.
I got a 6.
6. Okay, who we got? Yursa. We got Yursa. Unnatural 20.
Ooh.
See, who did we? Okay, so Gak. Am I missing you?
Yeah, I got a 9.
Okay. Who else am I missing? Am I missing anyone else? Got Vey, Rian, Eldar, Basil, Yursa, and then
Gideon,
the
11.
creature.
Gideon's
Oh,
not
yeah,
on
yeah.
there.
Yep. 11. How do I do this? Hold on.
How do you sort them?
No, I put an add-on for group initiative.
Hmm.
Actually, I'm just gonna roll once. All
We
goes.
love figuring out roll 20.
Yeah.
This is cool. I love this tree fae creature.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Oh, the wolves rolled a 15. Nice.
How'd they hold the dice?
Ah. That
Oof.
thing did too. Wait, not that.
Great.
I'm gonna tame that griffin. I'm gonna ride it.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Where's Hikari? We need a Hikari token for the boards.
Akari with you guys?
I think
Oh, yeah,
that
prob-
I would have seeing the flying bird creature and the tentacle panther. I think Rian and seeing how big they are, he would have been like, he would have whistled very high and kind of snapped and sent Hikari running because he doesn't want to. He loves Hikari, but Hikari's not a warhorse. Hikari's got like 8 hit points, and he's still. This is not as much of an advantage. Oh, Hikari has 19
Okay.
hit points. That's right. It's a draft horse,
With
so it's
that,
thick girl.
I think now is a good time to take a break
Oh, it would be.
before we get into combat with turn order, starting with Yursa. So let's go ahead and take our 5-minute break. and everyone be back at.
You're back.
Well, my time will be 10:26. So whatever 26.
All right, sounds good to me.
All right.
Amazing. And we're back, and the monsters rolled really well. Because John doesn't like us.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
John's tired of
You're
how much shit we talk about Eldar. So Eldar needs to save us here.
He's so pissed that we spent like the
Story
first
arc.
20 minutes talking in each other's rooms. He's like, you guys get fucked.
All right, are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
I believe so.
Hop into this combat. At the start of the initiative round, Yrsa, you're up as this winged creature, this tentacle panther, and some wolves start running towards you and flying towards you.
Okay. Yrsa clearly saying that this is a sticky situation. Do a couple things. First things first, we're just gonna come out guns blazing, and because I can wild shape as a bonus action, I'm gonna cast a spell first.
Okay.
She's gonna kind of put both of her hands together, and this just kind of like ghostly white energy is gonna shoot out, and she's gonna moonbeam this one right here.
Which one?
The bird creature.
Okay. Which, by the way, the bird creature is like 40 feet up in the air, but that doesn't matter because Moonbeam just, comes from the sky.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's got range.
Yeah.
Alright.
What does it need to roll?
I think I have to roll to hit.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I think Moonbeam's a saving throw.
Oh, it was.
Hold on, I'm reading. Sorry. I'm a new spellcaster, baby. Oh, it's a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Interesting roll there, Mr. Me. 9. Does that succeed?
That fails. oof, I'm lagging. Yeah, that fails.
Is it because of the rain? I'll turn it off.
Yes.
There
No,
you go.
it's not you. No, you don't have to turn it off. It's me. I never turn my hardware
Oh.
acceleration back on. So not great on the damage. I think if my D&D Beyond is correct, I rolled 12.
Okay.
As a damage.
I mean, that's good damage. This column of light just pours out of the sky and just immediately radiates on top of this winged creature. It lets out a horrible screech as it looks in your direction, Yrsa, and starts diving.
Hell yeah. Yrsa is going to bonus action wild shape into a giant brown bear.
Ooh.
So she shoots that moonbeam out of her hands, and then she's just going to, like, with her staff, just a bunch of flower petals are just gonna twirl around her, and then just this very elegant form is now just this lumbering, large. Oh, look how cute he is! This cute brown bear.
There you go. Is it a large? It's a large creature, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Is Moonbeam concentration?
oh shit, I think it is. Hold on, sorry. I'm learning.
I technically believe you can concentrate on it because you casted it
Concentration.
before you went into Ishi.
I did. Concentration, yep.
Okay, hold on.
Looking up the rules, looking up the rules.
Looking up the rules, ba, ba, ba,
What's
ba,
the
ba.
sphere range? It's
40
cylinder.
foot high cylinder, 5 foot radius.
Let's just
Did that cast? Okay, yeah, there you go.
do this. I'm gonna make it yellow. There you go.
Bye.
Because I boom. There we go.
Hell yeah. I'm sure it'll move, but if it starts its turn there,
Mhm. Yep.
yeah, it'll continue to take the damage. And Yrsa, as this, you all just see now a beautiful grizzly bear. She's gonna start running after it.
Okay.
On all fours. Brah, 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 brah.
All right.
That's her
Is that your turn?
Yep.
All right. It is Eldar's turn. As you could just see him kind of just frustratingly look at all of you. And he pulls his bow back. And he's going to fire. Actually, wait. Yes. You can see before he pulls the bow back, he kind of makes eye contact with this like beast over here, and as he looks over, he fires an arrow, and he's also going to technically what's known as Hunter's Mark. Get this guy, and then he's going to make 17 plus something. Yeah, that hits. So the first arrow flies true and hits this thing. That is, and then you can see as the arrow hits this tentacle panther thing that it bursts with almost like this radiant energy as he pulls back another arrow and fires again. That is a natural 1 as the arrow hits the side of his bow and breaks midair. Shit. Billow, go! He's gonna send Billow over. And then, no wait, shit. How far can Billow go? Oh yeah, Billow can go right there. Billow is going to take a bite attack. Hits. And going to... Next. A chunk out of this creature. With that, it is the creature's turn. Sorry, guys, I'm just me playing right now.
Just playing with your action figures.
Okay.
Eldar's gonna go here.
Yeah,
He's
man.
gonna shoot an arrow at the big tentacle creature. Oh, be it. Oh, he didn't
Hey,
it.
Let's Plays are super popular, so it's basically Baldur's
Actually,
Gate.
I need to re-roll those. I need to re-roll these hits.
Uh-oh. Game
Okay, that one still hits.
game glitched.
Yeah.
No, because as this creature came into like view, you could see that it's like almost like shifting and creating like a copy illusion of itself, almost displacing itself in its current state. As Billow goes to attack it and get reroll again, that is a miss. Now it is the creature's turn, so I'm going to add back that damage. This creature is going to attack Billow, and you watch this giant black panther kind of like size up Billow, who is this basically the size of a dog.
Dog with scales.
And both of these tentacles with like almost like nails on the end just slap down onto Billow. Oh, that's a 2. Hit. Second attack. That hits.
Yikes.
You see Billow gets almost smacked to the ground and kind of gets up. Billow's looking hurt. But that's its turn, and it's going to move on the other side of Billow, going out of range. And now it's Rian's turn.
Yeah. So then I'm definitely gonna do a couple of things here. Let me just double check something here real quick. Okay. So yeah, in this moment, Rian. Oh God. Oh God, my brain. What am I doing? Okay. Yeah, okay. Since Yursa's over there and she's in big bear form and they're firing the things over there, Vase closer to them, Rian, seeing that Basil and Gak are the only two on this side, he's going to hope that they have it handled over here, and so that way they don't get overwhelmed over here with the wolves. He is going to sort of draw his blade, and he's going to begin running over here. He's getting about right there, and as he's running, there is this sort of flourish that he makes with his blades, and you can see just the small petals from some of the leaves around him. They just sort of like detach and float towards him as he's going to use his bonus action to activate the Might of the Okunai.
Yep. As you're running, the blade grows in size, and this translucent armor starts to
cling around me, the petals roiling around me, and with that, then he's going to, as soon as he gets to the end of his, right about 5 feet away from the end of his movement speed, what he's going to do is he's going to kind of like bend at his knees as he's running and jump and do this sort of twirling strike down towards the wolf right here.
Okay, make an attack.
Okay.
I love deck fighters.
I know, me too. All right, +7 to hit. It's just a wolf, Rian. Come on. You only have one attack. Oh, yes.
Ooh, so close.
I think that hits. Yeah,
Okay.
let me check the stats. Yeah,
All right, and then that's a lot of damage. This wolf is going to need some flex tape after this. So we have 13 points of damage plus a d6 from the Wrath of the Okunai.
Okay.
That's 19 points of damage.
Okay, as you jump up and slice down, the wolf keeps running in your direction, and as it gets to you, its body just separates into two and falls to the ground.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Like an anime, just like opening the blade and closing it.
That
Just
one.
a second later, and then just in pieces.
That one was called the Leap of the Bullfrog, by the way. That was that dance move. So he... Rian is stone right now on his face, but inside he's like, that was pretty cool.
And then Ryan looks forward and realizes 3 wolves are running at him currently.
Yep, okay. And he used his bonus
They
action,
might be
all
up
of his used his bonus action, his movement and everything. So with that, he's gonna pray. Mountain home.
I think it should be an intimidation check for the other wolves. Jesus.
This one's going to run behind you, and it's going to make a bite attack.
Okay.
16 to hit.
Oh, that misses. Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. As it bites out at you, this next one is going to run up, and this one gets pack tactics.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Gak.
20 to hit.
That'll do it.
Okay, you take 7 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that.
As this wolf's going to jump on top of you and try to knock you prone.
Okay. So this is gonna be bad if I don't succeed. Strength saving throw? Ooh, Rian's not a strong boy. Oh!
You succeed.
Ooh.
You
Yeah.
get pushed back, but you don't get pushed to the ground. However, this wolf is going to run up, and again with pack tactics, going to bite at you.
Oh, come on.
17 to hit.
Oh, that just hits. That's my armor class.
You take 7 points of piercing damage, and then you should make another strength saving throw.
Okay. Come on, Rian. Stay strong, boy.
Yeah.
Oh!
Ryan is standing stone as he's being bitten in your leg and your arm. You are getting pushed to the ground, but you stand up. That's their turn. It is now the Griffin's turn, as it's going to dive straight towards Ursa Bear, and not being in the moonbeam.
I love
it is going to.
Okay. But it started his turn.
That is true. That is true. Okay, yeah, no, it's going to take moonbeam damage. Or it doesn't need to make another con save.
It does need to make another con save, right? When a creature enters
let me
the
see.
spell the first time, or
By the way, this
starts its turn.
this griffin isn't a
Yes,
shapeshifter, right?
No.
Okay, all right.
It fails.
Okay, bless. So
Oh,
I'll
hell
take
yeah.
2d10. I don't know where my d10 has disappeared to, so I'm gonna roll it on here.
Gideon, you are on deck, followed by Gak.
Right? Is that 2d10? Am I
Yep.
right? It's 2d10. Okay. I dropped my dice on the floor during the break, and I don't know where d10 went, so.
No.
8.
Whop, okay,
Cool.
8.
Okay, this thing's going to dive over here, and it is going to actually dive right here. And I believe because it's flanking.
Oops.
Gonna get a 6 to the attack roll.
Ooh.
And it's going to make 2 attacks at Ursa Bear. One with its beak, one with its claws.
Oh,
Yes,
Ursa Bear,
yes.
stay strong, Ursa Bear.
Your bear doesn't have very good hit points, but your bear, thick hide.
There's a 16 to hit. Beak.
That hits. Yes.
Hide
Okay,
isn't
you take
that
8
thick.
points of piercing damage. Second attack.
What's the one?
That's 19 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits.
As the beak digs into your shoulder, you see these talons raise up and slice across your face, and you take 11 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And it is going to. It's gonna fly over. It's gonna fly up 30 feet in the air. It's gonna take an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
So you can take one with your bear if you want.
I will try to. I'll take a
Okay.
nice swipe at it. I have a +6 to hit on that, so.
Nice.
Ooh, okay. 19 to hit.
That hits. Roll damage.
Okay, what is he? I'm gonna do it like this because that roll. My claws. Did that? Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know why I
shit.
rolled- I don't know. Oh yeah, that is. Okay, yeah. Yay.
Jesus.
Meow.
Okay. You take a big old chunk out of this griffin. You see feathers fall behind it, and there's like an actual bald patch on its side as you claw at its side. It makes a horrible screeching noise, but it continues on. That's its turn. Gideon, you are up.
Okay, so I'll need you to move him on roll 20 for now.
Yep.
So basically, he's going to go back, 5 feet, and he's going to set his Eldritch Cannon on the stump right behind him.
So by the way, all of these are not stumps; they're actual trees. It's just I don't want to put trees on the map so you can see past them.
Okay. He will put it right next to him then. It's too
Okay.
bad I wanted a little pedestal for it.
Sorry.
All right, and I upgraded. Nice.
Hell yeah, man.
Or was it this one? Was it this
It
one?
was that little, yeah, it was that
It
little
was the
bit.
yellow one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so aiming up at this griffin. So it was the action to create it, and I'll use my bonus action to fire it.
Okay. What's the range?
It's like 120 feet.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, it's far.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
So that's an 18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
That is 12 points of damage,
Okay.
and it's pushed back 10 feet.
Okay.
Also, Vay, your ears are ringing. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
The griffin creature is looking real hurt.
10 feet. There you go. All right,
All right.
and that will be it for Gideon for now.
All right, Gak, you are up. Basil, and you're on next, and then Vay after.
All right, so Gak watched Eldar try to shoot his arrow, and it all broke and failed. So Gak is going to hold his spell book, and he's going to hold it as if he has a bow and arrow. And he's going to pull it back and cast Magic Missile. And you see
Yeah.
three little bolts go and shoot off towards
Yeah.
the wolves that are around Rian.
Okay. Are you targeting each one separately?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 4 damage.
Did that
on the
roll
first
for
one.
all three, or okay? So I got to roll.
Yeah, you roll for each. So another 4 damage.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Wow. As each missile impacts with the wolf, you can see each one of them buckle and then get back up. They're just wolves, so that was a chunk of damage.
this.
Yeah, and
I-
then Gak kind of looks at Eldar and he goes, I don't know. And,
Eldar looks at you and goes, "Well played." As he pulls
And then-
another arrow.
Gak is going to run. He's actually going to run right up here next to Brienne.
What? As he's like in defensive position, and the wolf is snarling at him. He's like, "Gak, what are you?" He like deflects a bite. What are you doing?
They're trying to eat you. All right, is that your turn, Gak?
Yeah, I am my turn.
All right, Basil, it's your turn.
All right. Basil is going to. Where? Basil. Come on. He's going to go right here. And then at this one, I can't do the tentacle.
The displacer beast.
Yeah. She is going to do guiding bolt
Okay.
at first level.
I believe, is that a dex save?
I think it's a.
That is.
Or is that a roll to hit?
You rolled a hit with guiding
Okay.
bolt.
What's the other one I'm thinking of that's a dex save? Radiant
Sacred,
damage.
sacred flame.
That one.
It's a cantrip,
I think
yeah.
That one. Yeah, go ahead and make a ranged spell attack.
Yeah. Pardon my walnut brain. What is that?
Let me see. Should be able to in your actions.
Does it let me?
Yeah,
kinda
in
weird.
actions
Okay.
it should say guiding bolt. And just click on the +5.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that is. And then you can just click on the 4d6 little pink thing.
Okay.
Hell yeah! Come on.
Let me go.
Okay, guys,
wow.
stop. I need you to stop.
You said that so seriously. I was like, "What did we do wrong?"
Stop rolling well, okay? Please. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, no. What does it look like when you cast the spell, Basil?
So does it matter where the flash of light comes?
Oh, it's your spell.
Okay. She's going to say, I may not like Eldar, but you hurt his little pet companion. And so she like reaches up towards the sky, twists her hand, and kind of like a lightning strike, but it's just light, I guess.
Yeah.
And she just baseball pitches it down at the
Dope.
thing.
Is it like white radiant light, or is it like a different color?
It's like the color of sunshine, so
Okay.
like a golden color. So it's
So
pretty
you-
red.
Out of nowhere, you seemingly pull energy out of the sky and throw it towards this beast, and it hits the side. The contrast of this this black leathery skin and this white radiant energy hitting it, it like lights up the creature a little bit as it looks back towards you. You do notice, and I forgot to mention to anybody who's within like 5 feet of these creatures, their eyes are red.
Damn.
Ooh.
Is that your turn, Basil?
Yeah, that is my turn.
Okay. Faye, you're up. Your ears are ringing a little bit.
Yeah. So you said Billow looks rough? That's what
Billow
you
does
just
look
said.
rough, yeah.
Alright.
Damn, Eldar was a dick and you still want to heal his dog.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
The sins of the parent does not translate to the sins of the pet.
Yeah.
Oh, his poor dog.
His poor dog with scales.
Yeah, I'm sad I am not yet.
No, Faye just
Okay.
wants it to keep soaking damage. This is smart. I approve
Yeah.
this plan.
Is there, Jonathan, since this is a tree, there's no way to get between this cat and this lizard, is there?
That is true because you would have to move through an enemy's space.
All right.
That is true. Your plan to heal Eldar's pet has been thwarted by a tree.
All right.
Dogs.
Well, since
By
I cannot
nature.
do that,
It's like
Vay
Sims,
is
you can't go around the tree.
Vey is going to point at the displacer beast who hurt Billow, and he is going to do his vow of enmity on it, because
Oh boy.
fuck the bitch who hurt the dog. That's not a dog, it's a lizard, but fuck the bitch who hurt the So he points, and you see kind of like this little gold glow in the middle of the displacer's beast's forehead. That's his little mark.
Mhm.
And he's going to move up, and then he does just enough movement to get here, I do believe, and he's going to whack at it. So it would be a normal roll rather than a one at disadvantage, right? Since the displacer beast is, or wait, displacer beast
read
if they're
something real quick.
hit, if they're hit, they.
Yes.
And then I think
Yeah,
since it
okay,
has guiding bolt, you have advantage on any attack.
Oh shit.
That is true. So it's no longer doing the little shifty illusion shit, and you have advantage. Well,
Okay.
doesn't your thing already give you advantage?
Yes,
or no?
it does.
Double
so
advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, 21
so
hits. Yes.
21 hits. So that was my bonus, and I don't like this thing. I'm going to smite it.
Okay.
Hell
Because, well, I don't want it to come back around again and kill the fucking poor little baby, okay? So leave me alone.
My feelings.
Alright, so I'm going to use... No, never mind. Is smite a bonus action or a reaction? It's a bonus. It's a
No,
reaction.
it's neither.
It
You
is
can do it as long as you
nothing.
have spell slots and you hit.
All right. Okay. So divine. Okay. Where is it? You can someone.
There are specific smites that require like bonus action, like
Yeah.
searing smite or things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But your regular smite, no.
All right.
Okay.
You can
So.
throw that
As
on
you
for
smite
free.
this creature, Vey, what does it look like?
So as the sword kind of connects, it kind of almost glows like this ember red before it kind of goes back to its gold, and that gold kind of transfers to the creature in this kind of dazzling explosion of force. That's so
good.
fun. So yeah. And I'm just gonna stand there and try to look intimidating so it attacks me and not Billow. So
Okay.
we'll see. That's me.
The displacer beast is looking hurt.
Fuck him.
Fuck
Yours up.
him.
You're up.
Hey. So, has the bird landed, or is it still in the
No,
air?
the bird is 30 feet in the air.
Ah, you bitch. Bears don't
the
jump
bird
very
landed?
well. Alright. So then, here's the bear. Gonna turn their attention to the beast behind.
the dog, god damn it. The bear rolls on its back.
And as a bear, I have multi-attack, so yours is going to
Yeah, you do.
scratch at it first. With her claws, plus 6 to attack. Fail, 18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
See, we're feeling so good now about combat. I'm sure that there's going to be like a second wave where there's like 40 wolves that come out.
All at Rian.
Okay,
You killed
so
our
my
friend.
claws,
Oh.
and then, yeah, that didn't do all that, but that's okay. And to bite.
Rawr.
16 to hit.
That hits.
Then she will take a bite out of it.
Chomp.
Not rolling great on my damage.
Oh, that's so sad.
God.
That's
You can see
okay,
this
damage is
beast is
damage.
looking around. You can see its eyes make like this almost sad face as it's being attacked from all angles.
God
And then
damn it.
immediately go back to anger as it looks towards the bear and the tiefling, and then back towards the bear that just fucked it up.
Yours is just gonna say, I am so sorry, but in bear. So she's just growling at him. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody make your best bear impression.
Yeah.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
She feels so bad about this. This is killing her.
Brother bear.
But that
That's
is
my
her
bear
turn.
impression.
Okay, it is Eldar's turn. Seeing that you guys are
I was just gonna.
Fucking.
Can
Go
I?
ahead.
Am I allowed to, like, seeing Eldar's, like, getting ready to knock an arrow? Can Rian shout something out at him? Like, is that allowed, or would that have to be on my turn?
Yeah.
To communicate. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Just quickly, as like I'm like, Gak, what are you doing? Eldar, if you can kill one of the wolves, I can finish off the other two. And he's gonna go back to defend.
On it, and he turns towards. He was actually planning on killing one of the wolves.
Nice.
As he's going to move his mark, this wolf, and he is going to make one attack.
Come on, Eldar. Don't be a bitch. Don't miss.
That just hits, actually.
I'm nervous. I'm talking some mad game right
One
now.
arrow goes, and this wolf right here that was looking at you, Rian, you just see an arrow go straight through its skull, and the point of the arrow right near you as it drops on the ground. As he knocks another arrow and fires it towards the griffin.
Nice. Oh yeah, it's up in the air. Nice.
Goes right past the griffin.
Shit.
And he's gonna stay there.
Okay.
Actually, no, he's gonna make Billow attack this thing.
No, Billow.
Billow hits.
Well, at least Billow hit.
Vengeance.
Billow jumps up and bites down on one of the tentacles of this beast and is like kind of flailing around on it. Good damage.
That's pretty funny. Just
it is this creature's turn. Displacer beast. Once again, it starts to shift and it creates the illusion that there are more than one. Man, this thing is just fucking cornered. I'm gonna roll a d4. I'm gonna choose. It's
Get it, Joe. Get it. Get it. Get it.
I'm just waiting for the Scandinavian women to come back screaming.
You watch as one of these tentacles lifts up into the air and strikes towards Basil.
Basil, no!
Fucking 22 to hit.
Fucking.
Oh, shit.
Miss.
You feel an immediate pain, Basil, as the tentacle hits you across the shoulder. You take 7 points of bludgeoning damage and 3 points of piercing damage.
Jesus Christ.
As it leaves like multiple holes in your shoulder as it reels back. It's going to take another attack. Roll a d4 again.
Against me?
No, I'm rolling to see who it's going to attack because it's surrounded by 4 people.
How much was mine again?
What was that?
How much was mine again?
So you took 7 points of bludgeoning and then 3 points of piercing.
Oof.
It's going to attack the bear. 13 to hit?
Yes.
Okay, you take 7 points of bludgeoning and 3 points of piercing. And it is going to...
5 hit points left as bear, Ursa.
Bursa.
It's going to attempt to run over to the cannon man.
What?
That means everyone there gets attacks of opportunities, but they are all at disadvantage because of its...
Not
Well, I guess that
mine.
depends. That's true. That's a straight roll.
Please kill it.
I guess it also whoever hits negates the effect. So let's just go in order. If you're sorry, you take an attack of opportunity.
Yes.
Okay, go
I'll
ahead
try to see
with
what
you
my
first.
bear has a plus 6, I think it was.
Hit it so I get advantage. I hate this thing so much.
Well,
Please kill it. Please.
Please. Yeah, even better. Kill it.
it was only a 14 though. I didn't roll
That will that will hit.
Oh, JK! Alright. Hell yeah. Claw attack. Meow. What? My damage
Oh
is
no.
great.
Ooh.
How?
Okay, so that means Vey and Billow will take an attack of opportunity. Vey, yours is at advantage. Billow misses. I rolled a 3. Okay. Okay. This thing is limping over towards Gideon. It is.
Can you smite on opportunity attacks?
Yes.
Do it.
Can I smite it, please?
Kill it.
Sure.
Kill it.
Go ahead.
I don't
want
like
Billow
it
to get-
very much, and I want it gone.
Yep.
I want Billow to get the killing blow.
Oh,
With a thunderous smite, this thing drops dead. Where
Hell
it
yeah.
was.
Hell yeah,
As
Vay.
it should.
It doesn't even make any noise or anything. It just gets pelted into the ground, creating this divot in the ground from being smitten by Vay.
Oh, it was smitten. It was smitten with Vay.
Yeah, it was
Aww.
Oh my
You see
god.
the tentacles just fall over.
So was Eldar. They winked at each other.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I didn't realize
Stop.
the Displacer Beast had a crush. That makes this really fucked up that you killed it.
Stop.
had a crush, got crushed.
Well, Rianne, it's your turn.
All right,
It's fucked up, Vay.
here we go. All right, gonna try and do something cool. I'm probably gonna look like a fucking doofus. So with that, Rian seeing the 2 wolves left alive in front of him, he is gonna go ahead and, now that the one is dead behind him, he can sort of focus his attention on the 2. He's gonna kind of like not duck, but he's gonna kind of like bend at his knees lower and make this sort of wide open sweep over his head, leaving his abdomen exposed. Slashing down 1 strike at the wolf that is right in front of him. So let's see, +7. Oh, please hit. Oh, yeah. Okay. So sort of leaving himself wide open, swiping down at the 1 wolf. I'm assuming the 21 hits. Yeah, okay. All right. And then 12 points of piercing damage plus the d6 from the Wrath of the Okunai. This is 19 total. You're muted, John.
God bless it. I'm sitting over. Yeah, that is. Yeah. No, you clean swipe upwards, and the jaw and upper part of the head just comes off clean. This thing dies.
All right. So then, Rian, trying to keep his promise, he is going to burn his action surge to attack a second time at the other wolf that is alive, and he's going
Okay, do
to
it.
transition from that sort of leaving himself wide open to that downward slash, to as it's now down at his body, closer towards his abdomen, closing himself off. So then he's going to go into a thrust at the other wolf. Ah, shit. Damn, 2.
This one, kind of ducks almost from the sword swipe, instinctually.
Yep.
Turn.
I will use my bonus action to second wind for 1d10 plus
Okay.
3.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm going to regain 9 hit points.
All right. Awesome.
And then that is everything.
You see that this wolf, with this glared over red eyes, kind of steps back like for half a second, and then it almost forces itself forward to attack you.
Checks out.
10 to hit. I don't think that hits.
Nope. To Gak it would, but
Yeah. The hesitation causes it to lose its footing and miss. It is now the Griffin's turn. The Griffin is going to dart over to Eldar.
oh no.
Not Eldar.
Not
Anyone but Eldar.
Eldar.
Gonna make a beak attack. It is going to miss Eldar. As Eldar, it's weird. Eldar kind of instinctually moves out of the way from this beak as it comes down, and then this creature is going to attempt to pick Eldar up.
Oh no,
That's
don't take him
okay.
away.
And it is going to fly. the rest of its movement, which is 80 feet, and I think it traveled 30.
Is Eldar resisting at all?
No. And it is going to fly. Why it keeps making me pick both of you. It is going to fly with Eldar 30 feet in the air. As you see Eldar get picked up, a little help as he gets picked up into the air 30 feet.
No.
Gideon, it's your turn.
All right, well, you asked for it. Fire. The cannon's gonna turn and just fire right up at the griffin.
Okay.
25.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. 14 points of damage.
Okay. It almost seems to come crashing to the ground, but it is still alive.
All right, and that was my bonus action to activate the cannon. For my action, I'm going to firebolt it.
Okay.
19.
That hits.
Come on. 9 points of damage.
With that, you fire the bolt up into the air. It catches the edge of the wing, and you see the wing almost burst into flames on the edge as the creature seems to go unconscious and start falling from the sky, as Eldar himself also starts falling from the sky. He's going to try to make an athletics check to possibly ride the dead body of the griffin down and use it to break his fall.
I use my reaction to cast Feather Fall on him.
Okay, so in a fit of effort, as Eldar throws his bow around his shoulder and grabs onto the griffin, ready to let it break his fall because he did roll well, he just starts to fall slowly to the ground as the griffin just falls into the ground and leaves a trail of dust behind. Gideon, make a perception check.
18.
With that is okay. With that is combat, as that thing is also dead. Eldar is kind of
Did
slowly.
Rianne get all the wolves?
Oh, there is
Right.
one wolf left, isn't there?
There is one wolf left. I'm just gonna say, for the sake of time, that thing.
It's
You're
more
gonna kill
gone.
it. Yeah, Gak will probably kill it.
Yeah, he uses firebolt and just boom.
Yeah, it dies.
Nice.
Hold on. Trying to find where's my water.
Ursa will no longer be a bear.
Okay.
Ursa bear was cute.
She had little flowers in her fur.
I love that.
Vey is going to instantly pick up Billow if he can to heal him. Poor little boy.
Billow looks at you kind of like nervously, and then as you heal, kind of slowly goes from like a defensive position to relaxing. How much do you heal?
Let's say how many other people in the party look really rough?
Just a couple.
We have a cleric. It's okay. I'll heal him 10.
The cleric is the one that looks the worst.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was
I'll cast Cure Wounds.
Oh no.
gonna cure wounds myself if that's fine.
Oh no. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna cure wounds myself, so I'm good.
So just to clarify, John, you said that when the griffin approached Eldar and took him and picked him up, he did not resist at all. Like, he just was like, yep, you're taking me.
I kind of want to make you make a perception check because you were surrounded by wolves and fighting at the same time.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Perception. +4. That's a natural 20. So that's a 24.
Okay. I'm going to DM you. Ooh. But as this is happening, as Eldar's kind of floating back down to the ground, he goes, "See, I told you that creature was going to do something crazy.
Absolutely
Didn't hear a single
not.
word."
No, you are very wrong. You're just gonna get all in his face.
How high up is he right now?
Probably
Like 20 feet? What?
Probably 10 feet ish.
I end the spell.
If you're considering flying to be something strange, then have you heard about wings before?
Have I heard about wings? Yes, I've heard about wings.
Okay. I'm
Ow!
so sorry
As he
that
looks to Gideon.
it picked you up, but I don't know what more weird it could do.
So how'd you know that that bird thing was coming? How'd you know it was gonna do something weird?
What do you mean? How
You
did I
said
know
you
was
knew
going
it.
to do something weird?
You said I knew that thing was gonna do something weird. How'd you know?
Yeah, no,
the
Rian,
creature.
having a moment now, is going to calmly move towards Eldar.
He
And he's
gets
going
up
to get up, and he's going to sort of place a hand on Eldar's shoulder and be like,
he's gonna back up from you as you're moving towards him.
he was just he was approaching very calmly.
Yeah.
And he just wants to say, "I'm glad you're okay. That creature looked like it was about to take quite a big bite out of you. I'm glad you didn't get hit. Thank you for killing that other wolf. I appreciate it." And he's gonna reach his hand out for a handshake. Thank you.
He's gonna fail. He's gonna take your
He
hand.
failed.
Okay,
Yeah,
at that point,
Eldar failed
he's gonna
the insight.
immediately rip his hand and bend it behind his back and try and pin him to the ground.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Make an athletics check against his.
Can Gak help?
I would say this is a very Rian didn't let anybody know he was doing this.
Yeah.
So this is a very reactionary thing.
Yeah, this is
I will also say Vay at that is gonna run over, and he's kind of like, "What in the hells are you doing?" Because he doesn't know anything, and
Yeah.
you're just attacking someone out of
What
nowhere.
did you roll?
16. 15 plus 1.
He rolled a 19.
Oh, shit.
So as you grab his arm, he slips out and kind of almost backs up immediately 10 feet and pulls his bow out and points it right at you.
Yeah,
That's
Rian will
far enough, friend.
draw his sword.
Yes, it is. Cannon points right at him.
What is going on? I think we
The
all
griffin.
have the
He
wrong
didn't.
idea.
When the griffin approached him, he didn't resist at all. He let it grab him, and he was able to dodge the attacks with ease, as if him and the griffin were in communication with each other. I saw it.
You're just going to say that was me and not just notice that I'm a great fighter.
You are such a pompous ass, and I suggest you start telling the truth right now. Did you see what happened to
Or
those
what?
wolves? To that owlbear? I don't think you want to play this game with me, Eldar.
Really? You think I don't want to play this game?
Or we could just
I don't know what
talk
you're talking
this
about.
Out. The creature that we were just speaking with before all this happened, they are lost. They are not from here. They are from the Feywilds. I have met creatures like that before. She's simply lost. She has nothing to do with what is happening with these animals here. So that, you can just let that go. That has nothing to do with what is happening here. These flowers, this pond, this is all because of her magic that she brings from the Feywild. But it is not connected to the creatures attacking. But if what Rian said is true, how did you know that that creature would pick you up unharmed?
What do you mean? How? I did not know it was going to pick me up. Billow has also kind of made its way over and is behind Gak, very, very angry.
Rian is going to take a step forward and say, "You need to start telling the truth now."
He takes a step back. You need to back the fuck off. As he
There are
points his
6
arrow
of us
towards you.
and 1 of you. Are you really that dull?
You underestimate me, friend.
You think you can outrun me?
No, I think I can outkill you.
Oh my god. Vay's gonna step between him. He's like, all right, absolutely not. Everyone is gonna put their weapons down, and we're gonna talk about this.
Show me the necklace.
Necklace.
Oh, please. I saw you tuck it back in.
Great. You all couldn't just leave this alone, could you?
Sorry, I'm under contract.
At this point, he's going to cast Fog Cloud in the area around you all. As from him, the area becomes. What does Fog Cloud do?
I will say, as soon as I see him go to cast it, Might of the Okunai is still active, so my range is still 10 feet. So if he's...
Okay.
I would like to take a slash, and if it hits, I'm going to use my my Fire Rune ability to try and restrain him with the Fire Shackles.
Okay.
I also had my cannon pointed at him. I'd like to shoot him.
Okay. Give me a second. Let's
This might be a bad time to say Vay did step between them.
Okay.
I have really good aim.
I did say that. I'm sorry. I felt like that's unfair to Jonathan if I didn't.
No, it's fine. So he's going to place this here. So I'm going to say as he's casting it, Rian, because Vay is right there, I'm going to probably give you disadvantage because you're going to have to swipe around your friend just to hit him. Gideon, not you because you were at a different angle.
Okay.
But you guys can go ahead and make attacks.
I don't want to add too much, but what I was going to say before Gideon did the amulet is Gak is going to cast Detect Thoughts onto Eldar.
Okay.
Be ow, 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 because I got a 22.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely hits.
It's a 9 from Rian for the attack.
So as the fog kind of emanates out from him, you swipe out, and you knowingly know Vay's in front of you, so that causes you to swipe in a way you didn't wish to, and you make sure not to hit Vay. But it also leaves Eldar room to dodge it. But as he's dodging, you give Gideon enough of a target as he moves out of the way, as the Eldritch Cannon fires and hits Eldar in the side. But the Fog Cloud does... Wait, how much damage, actually?
11 points of damage.
I believe Fog Cloud's concentration. It is. So I need to make a concentration check.
Oh, please fail.
I rolled a 17. But the fog does emanate out. Yak. I believe Detect Thoughts is those you can see, right?
It says you can read the thoughts of certain creatures when you cast the spell. You can focus your mind on any creature that you can see within 30 feet, but that's when you cast it. And then it says that it works between 2 feet of rock, 2 inches of metal. So once
and you
it's
get surface
cast,
thoughts unless you poke deeper.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, guys. There's just like a lot.
Yeah.
going on.
There's a lot going on.
So, Gak, as you cast this, as a fog cloud emanates, you make physical eye contact with Eldar, and you are able to surface thoughts. You get they found out. I've got to hide. And as the fog cloud dissipates, I would say everyone in the fog cloud, which would be Basil, Rian, and technically Gideon, and Vay, you wouldn't be able to see anything. It becomes obscure. And
I don't know if it's possible to listen for footsteps, but I would like to try and hear where he's going, whistle for Hikari, and try and give chase. I don't know if there's enough.
I would say
Time.
with the rain,
Mm-hmm.
you can make a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay.
Because there's a lot going on. There's an Eldritch cannon just went off. Fog.
It's a 10.
Oh man, it would have been a 20. That's
Actually, yeah, Gak, nobody can see through the fog cloud in this current moment. So currently, as the fog emanates, starts to dissipate. I don't know if anyone's running as it's happening.
yeah. So, Gak knows that. Or at least he knows it a little bit. But it's a 30 feet. You have to remain 30 feet to know the thoughts.
Yeah.
So the fact that he knows he's going to hide, Gak's actually going to run into the fog cloud in case he gets away somewhere.
Okay.
So he's going to try to stay 30 feet of Eldar.
Okay. Man. As the fog cloud happens, immediately after it dissipates and he has disappeared.
Oop.
However, Gak can still sense his thoughts.
Mm-hmm. So I know he's within 30 feet.
You saw him do a very similar thing last night when you were walking back.
Can I want to cast. Oh wait, no, that one won't work. Okay, wait 1 second. Can I take my quarterstaff?
Okay.
And I want to just in front of me as I'm running, I just want to swing it around as much as I can to try to hit him if he's there.
Okay. Make attack rolls with disadvantage.
Okay. I don't know how to do disadvantage on this, so I'll just do it twice.
Is there
Oh, dang it.
Oh no.
I know I
Dang it,
said
dang it, dang it.
here, but because it's rainy and we're in the forest, would there be like muddy like foot impressions? Would that be a little bit more discernible than hearing?
Yeah. You see foot impressions. I mean, immediately around you, there's foot impressions everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You have Basil Vey, Gak just ran up. You are all in this space. Do you see foot impressions bleeding north?
Then I mean,
Gak is gonna say that he's still within 30 feet.
then I mean, Rian's not gonna just let him go away. He's gonna kind of like scooch past Vey, and he's going to say, "We need answers," and he's going to move, and he's going to try and start following these tracks as quickly as he can.
I would say Basil Vey, that ain't really Gak, but Gak not so. No, not Gak anymore because you used detect thoughts. The three of you are very suspicious in this moment, but have no idea what's going on. Like this all happened so quick. And then all of a sudden Eldar cast a fog cloud, he was being attacked, and then disappeared. I will say, as you run after Eldar, Rien, because you are at the back, you hear like running towards you as Billow is going to attempt to bite you.
Okay.
I was just about to ask where Billow was.
That is going to be a 13 to hit.
That's a miss.
Billow is going to bite at your legs and miss, and Bill is going to stay with you. He's going to keep trying to attack you.
Can Ursa cast what speak with animals work with Billow? What is Billow? Billow's a dragon baby thing?
Drake.
Drake, yeah.
Is a Drake a beast?
Or would it be considered a
small
dragon? No.
Called a small. Yeah, it's considered a small dragon.
Okay, so speak with animals wouldn't work with him. Never mind. Oh,
Trying to find. I'm sorry. It's just water noises. I'm trying to find something that.
nah, it's calming. There's a lot of crazy happening.
It needs to be more chaotic.
You're also trying to make like an animal handling check and try to calm this thing down. Like, sorry, your master's an
Sure.
asshole.
Sure. You can certainly
okay.
try.
Okay. Bites Circe's hand off. Alright. I have +4 to animal handling. 17.
Okay. It's Drake companion
Yeah.
of Eldar.
Yeah.
The bite your
Loyal.
hand.
Okay, it was worth a shot.
It's 6. It's not gonna hit you. Well, no, it's not gonna hit you. It's 9.
I mean, if Yrsa is very confused, knowing Rian's temper, she's gonna like be like hot on his heels and just kind of going after him.
Yeah, you lose connection.
Okay, I want to run as far forward as I can. Do I have the connection there?
No.
I'm gonna dash.
Also, at this point, Billow does just poof, disappear.
What?
I'm gonna use my full movement to dash and see if
you
I can
all
get
watch
the
as
connection.
Gak just lumbers into the forest. Gak.
Rian's gonna whistle for Hikari. Did you say he re-got the detect thoughts? No.
He lost the connection.
Okay. Yeah. He's gonna whistle for Hikari, and he's going to say, "Gak, there's no point. At this point, the tracks have already been lost to the rain."
No,
listen.
Guys, I could hear him. I was listening to his thoughts, and he's gone completely.
What we need to do is we need to make our way back to the mayor's house. He might be He might be heading back that way already. I know that some of you do not know me for long. Yrsa, you've known me the longest, and you know I wouldn't act that way if I wasn't sure of what I saw. He brought us here. He knew what was happening to these animals. And if Gideon is right, that amulet could be something that he's using to control with them or commune with them. And Gak, you said that you read his thoughts, right?
Yeah, I heard him think they found out, and then he said he had to get out. But I ran into the cloud because I can only listen for so far away, and he was still in that cloud, which is why I started swinging my staff. But no, he said they found out and tried his best to get away.
Brienne's right. We need to head back, let the mayor know what happened before Eldar tries to make it look like this is all our fault somehow.
Right.
Brienne, if you're on horseback, you can get there long before him.
Yes. I'll start heading that way. I will let him know what we found. You all get there when you can.
Brienne, should you take someone with you?
I can assist.
Basil, you did do the most talking with the mayor when we were there. Hopefully he'll trust your opinion on these things. All right. And he'll sort of...
Peace, Brienne, peace. She's like giving you a look. Remember to be peaceful.
I'm calm. I am. I just don't want this to look badly on us. Will you be okay?
I will be fine.
All right. And he'll reach his hand down to Basil to help her onto the back of Hikari. All right. We'll see you there.
Go.
Hold on. And he'll look over his shoulder. Hold on tight. And he's going to like sort of rear the reins and whip and just head off.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah. As Basil and Rian gallop back towards the town, Vay, Yrsa, Gak, Gideon, what are you doing?
Gak wants to ask Yrsa, what did the tree lady? Does she know what's happening? Can we tell her that he's the problem and that if she sees him that to get away or?
Yrsa kind of like looks around to see if Vara's anywhere around? She's probably long gone after all that.
No, you actually do see her near the
bless.
wolf's corpses. As she kind of touches one of the corpse and flowers just start to emerge.
Oh, bless her.
Hmm.
Yours is gonna look at Gak, just kind of look over her shoulder. He's not the cause of any of this. She's just wandered away from home. Home is in the Feywilds, and it seems as though some people have been pursuing her for some reason, but she's no threat to us or anyone around here. And unfortunately, she doesn't have any answers as to why these creatures are attacking. But she has seen Eldar before. She did mention that.
I think we have the answers now. She didn't scare me, really. She seemed really nice. I think that we should warn her in case that he comes back.
I agree. And Yrsa will start to walk over to where she is. Slowly, of course. She doesn't want to spook
Yeah.
her.
As you walk over, she kind of looks back and goes, "Unfortunate. These creatures were what? Want to do what they did.
I know. None of them did. None of them wanted any of this. This is what we were trying to find out. This is why we came out here. This has been happening for the past few weeks, and we don't know why. But that man, that Eldar, the one you've seen before, he seems to know what is going on. He led us here as maybe a trap. He was working with these creatures. He had some way to connect, to communicate with them. We are informing the mayor of Hambafort. I realize that means nothing to you. We are informing the right people, and we're gonna take care of this problem.
Matters of people, no offense, little. I care about the creatures. I will lay them all to rest. Thank you for your help.
Thank you, and please be safe. There may be more of these creatures out here. Ones who don't have control over what they do.
I will. You watch from the wolves' carcasses like this, these beautiful pink and orange and blue flowers just grow.
Yrsa will just smile and let her do her business and look to Gak with like a warm smile. She knows, and she's going to lay these creatures to rest. But I think we need to get to the mayor's as well. There's nothing else for us here.
I agree. It's gonna take so long. Should we run?
Yes.
Okay. And Gak's just gonna start running.
Okay.
It just takes off.
Vey, is there anything you were doing?
Uh,
Going on?
He's just kind of standing there. At everyone heading back, he would head back. He's probably not gonna run. He's in heavy armor. He's just going to walk, and if they outpace him, it is what it is. But yeah, that's what he's doing.
Brienne and Basil, as you all are galloping through the forest, Brienne, you feel this warmth over your body. An arrow comes flying through the tree line and hits you in the shoulder, and you take 8 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
7 points radiant damage. And I need you to make an athletics or acrobatics check to stay on the back of Hikari.
Okay. I don't know if the mounted combatant feat would have anything to do with that. It doesn't say anything in the thing, but since I'm used to being on top of Hikari in that way, would that help at all, or is it still just a straight roll?
I would say it's a straight roll because this is just a sudden surprise thing.
Okay.
Like you're not,
Gotcha.
You're focused on the task at hand. You weren't expecting an arrow in your chest.
All right, acrobatics +4. It's pretty okay. That is an 18. 14 + 4.
Okay. Basil, you see an arrow get lodged directly into Rian's chest as an arrow then comes flying at you, Basil. That is a 21 to hit.
Well, shit.
You take 8 points of piercing damage as an arrow gets lodged into your back.
Not good.
I need you to make an acrobatics or athletics check.
Alright.
Knowing that it hit me first, can I try and help her out by like grabbing onto her behind me?
Yeah.
Okay. Reaching
I'll say
behind.
it's such a sudden, quick turn of events. Like you just reactionary kind of go to grab. 16. Okay. Basil, you feel a horrible pain in your back as you all keep galloping forward a little bit. I assume you're not going to keep going forward, or are you?
I was going to say, and Rachel, this is up to you, but I was going to say that we take the dodge action where we just have any attacks against us have disadvantage, and we see if we get hit again, because I'm still okay on hit points. I'm at 17, so I can still take another hit.
I'm at 11.
We get disadvantage on you.
That's true. Let's just do it.
Yeah, let's just see what happens. All right, dodge action.
Okay.
I'm not going to
What
remove.
horse is Hikari?
Hikari is a draft horse. 19 hit points, but any attacks made at Hikari with my mounted combatant feat, I can have be targeted at myself.
Okay.
So these would all be with disadvantage.
2 more
though.
arrows get lodged in your direction.
Okay.
You still feel that warm energy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
16. It's a 21, but it's at disadvantage.
Yeah.
First one is a 12.
12. Okay.
That misses. Second one at Basil. 19, but disadvantage. 18. So 18 plus 5. So you're going to take. Oh, I'm so sorry. I rolled max damage. You're going to take 13 points of piercing damage.
I am down.
Okay. I'm immediately gonna sort of. We know which direction the arrows are coming from, right?
They're behind you now.
Behind you. Okay. So immediately, Rian is gonna like diagonally move throughout the trees in the opposite sort of direction away from the arrows. So hopefully were the trees giving us any cover in that moment? That maybe would have.
These trees are kind of spread apart because you're not in the thick forest area. You're kind of coming out of the clearing and like into like. You're being shot at by a ranger.
Yeah.
So they know how to traverse the forest and shoot through trees.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say zigzagging in and out. You could probably get yourself half cover and full cover if you do it right.
Is Rian holding on to me?
Yeah.
Because Basil is. She is fighting for her life.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, Rian, you just feel Basil go limp behind you.
Yeah, if she was like, I'm assuming because of how fast Rian went, she probably had her arms wrapped around at his waist, so he would just grab onto her arms, hand in the reins, and start dipping and diving throughout the trees. Oh God.
At a full gallop at this point, what's 40 feet, so 80 feet?
Mm-hmm.
If you full galloped, you would feel that you're probably out of the range at this point from an arrow.
Okay.
Actually, you would notice that 2 more come and they fall short.
Okay. Okay.
I still have 3 spells or
But you're
unconscious.
You're unconscious.
death saves, so you can probably get us a little farther.
Actually, that's a good point. That's actually a good point.
While I just fight for my life 3 times.
I would say he would, because he knows how fast Akari could go, he would get just like another 80 feet out of the range and then kind of bring it to a stop and try and like shift Basil around to the front and try and do what he can, take out a few bandages, stop some of the bleeding, take out some of the arrows, try and see if he can at least stabilize her in this brief moment on the horse. After they're out of range of the shots. Because Rian doesn't have a health potion. I don't think any were given to us beforehand. Unless this is Skyrim and I can just feed her a cabbage real quick to get her at 1.
No.
Okay.
In order to stabilize her, you're gonna have to make a wisdom check.
Wisdom.
Not medicine check.
Medicine. Okay, it's the same difference. Okay, so he's gonna try and do what he can. Medicine. Oh shit.
You can see that one of these arrows is very deep. Basil's back. Basil, I need you to make a death save.
All right. It's just a D20, right?
10 is the DC. That's 1 fail.
Oh my god. At this point, I don't have enough time to go back, right? Because I'm so far ahead. Like I couldn't get back in time for, say, somebody like Yrsa.
You guys are hours away.
Fuck. Okay, he's gonna keep trying to move forward and try and do it again. So, because how far away are we from the town?
You just started galloping. You're probably in a gallop speed, probably like 2.5 hours.
Oh my Jesus, fuck. Yeah, he doesn't have any other options. He has to try again.
Are there any?
Wait, so I think Joe was asking if he could get back to us.
Oh, you mean to
Right.
the party, or do you mean to town?
Either or. Like, am I within distance of either one that I could get to before she would bleed out?
Oh, the party, you're much closer.
But,
You're like probably like 2 or 3 minutes away from the party at a full gallop.
And we're running at them too.
True.
But then I would
go
be
through the range.
the arrows again. I would have to go through the arrows again, and I'm at 17.
That's D&D, man.
Okay, well, he's going to keep trying to go slow and try and do it again.
Okay, make another medicine check.
Oh, 16! Please!
Okay. I will say you are able to kind of rip off a piece. You don't have a medicine kit.
No.
So you have to rip off some of your tunic or whatever.
Yes. Yeah, whatever it takes.
And you apply pressure. You feel that you have stabilized Basil, but just barely.
Okay. That's good enough. Whip the reins.
Basil, you still have lost 1 death save currently.
Mm-hmm.
Still unconscious. Not bleeding out
Cool.
at this moment.
I'll take that.
Okay, and I'm heading straight towards the mayor's house. I've got Eldar's arrows in her throat. So I feel like that's proof enough, asshole.
Okay.
Not you, Eldar.
Okay.
What a bitch. Ugh.
I will say, man, this is stabilize. Usually, okay, because you were hours away, you're gonna have to make at least 2 more medicine checks.
All right.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if you slow down, the party might be able to get to you, and
But-
we have a few people who can heal.
The issue is then so could Eldar catch up.
Right.
And then knock
right.
me down, and then we're both dead.
Right.
So that's
unfortunate.
Yeah, it's very SpaghettiOs. Okay. All right.
We're just gonna try.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my Rian dice. Rian dice, here we go. Come on, don't disappoint me. I bought you for this character. I got stuck in the dice tower. What do I do? Oh, okay. That's a 15 with the second one.
Okay, that's another success.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
All right, one more. Come on, Rian. Come on, Rian dice. That's a 12. 10 plus 2.
That is another success.
Okay.
As you are cresting over the hill, and you can see in the distance, there's a limp, unconscious Basil with 2 arrows sticking out of her back. as you
Oh,
press
awesome.
up to the town of Hambafort. The rest of you have actually gotten through the forest, and you were not attacked.
What the fuck?
We could have gone
Sorry.
back. What do you mean?
Well,
God.
I'm sure he's chasing you.
Yeah.
Or getting ahead of you.
Yeah. Oh, God, I hope not. I got 80 feet,
But
man.
as Rian, you are traveling with the unconscious body
Yeah.
of Basil, trying to get her to some sort of healer or anywhere to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
And the rest of you are also running through the forest, trying to get back to town, which you guys are 2 hours away. Like, Rian's about to crash into the town because he's full galloping on the back of Akari.
Yeah.
You guys are, like, almost out of the forest. As you all rush and try to beat Eldar to wherever he might be going, he might be chasing down Rian and Basil. He might be waiting for the rest of the party to get to the forest, or be heading to the mayor. You don't know where Eldar is, but what you do know is that it seems like he's behind these attacks. And you have the information with you to possibly pin this on him. However, with Rian trying to make sure that his new companion Basil does not fall into the Raven Queen's arms, in this tense moment as you guys try to get to your various locations as fast as possible, racing against the clock. That's where we're going to end the session.
No.
Ooh.
No. You know what? My players do it all the time. I demand another hour. I'm quarantined. I'm on e-learning. I don't give a shit. I ain't got nothing to do tomorrow.
Ryan does.
I have to wake up at 4 a.m. So
I will say, Joe, Basil would be like completely for like, just get to the mayor's house, use me as proof. He's a mayor.
know.
He's bound to have someone who is there who can help.
But Joe
He's
is getting anxious because then I was the one who picked Basil up and was like, yeah, get on the horse. You'll be fine.
But Basil is like, yeah, I'll go.
And
Death who? I know her.
I will say this. Rian, you've managed to stop the bleeding even though you have no medical background at all.
aside from when I was shanked a few times that one time.
Yeah. Basil's not looking good.
Yeah.
And I'll just say, if you were to go to the mayor first, without getting Basil healed, you'd have to make another medicine check. Fail.
Rand's buying a medicine
Yes,
kit
sir.
after this. That's what is gonna happen.
It's whatever Rian thinks is best.
But
I'm
does
sure we
he-
could easily.
But does he know anybody who could heal in town? He knows Alan.
Alan.
But does Alan? Does Alan?
No,
I'm sure Alan
You-
knows someone because
you
there
do know
is
that
a-
there is a town cleric.
Yeah.
There is.
Like Yursa would have told Rian about the people in
But-
town that she remembered.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm thinking though, because if Rian were to take Basil straight to the mayor, he has such, like, the town kind of holds him as a priority, and so if we were to go there and he'd be like, oh, servant, guard, whatever, go find the town cleric and bring them here, you know. That's what I would assume is kind of what it would be, but I guess I'm just so worried that Eldar will get to the mayor first.
That's what I'm worried about. Yeah.
Because that's what I was thinking. We could go back to, like, could go to the mayor, and I know that you'd have to make another medicine check. I still technically have 2 death saves left.
But you could roll a natural 1
I could roll a natural 1,
and fail 2.
Yeah.
which is
I'm
not
sure.
off-brand for me.
I
But
mean, I'm sure.
You're sure what,
I
Ryan?
don't know.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm sure Eldar's fast, but he's not a dashing draft horse fast.
Yeah, but if he's like if he's like a
Yeah.
wood elf, then he's got 60 feet per round. But he did
Or
take those
Rian-
4 shots.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rian could
even if
drop
he
me
does get
off.
there first, yeah, drop you off and then get healed, and then be like, "All right, healer, bye. I gotta go to the mayor."
Yeah, you could.
I think-
Rian
yeah.
could drop me off, run to the mayor. Basil will get healed, and then she'll run to the mayor.
Well, if it's just
Then
like
your
a
proof's gone.
yeah, I think if it's shit.
Wait, no. Your proof isn't gone. You got shot in the shoulder.
You still have an arrow in you.
Yeah, you have
Yeah,
an arrow
okay, all right.
in you. Like, you have proof.
And Basil can bring the arrows too. Be like, I just got healed, guys.
Yeah, the
I love
arrows
this
etched into
meta-
each one of the shafts as Eldar, right?
I
It's
love this meta
color-coded.
conversation we're having right now.
Yeah, no, I do too. I do too.
Keep having
so
it.
much
I mean, do we need to finish the video? Or
Yeah, okay, well, that's the end of the session.
This could be in the video.
Yeah,
Bye.
in the video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to tune in next week for session number 4 of the Tales of Evrand. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.